Alrighty, how's it going, gamers? Daybreaker Rein here, coming at you through a video scope, and we're just gonna have a chill stream today. I haven't been streaming as much as I intended to, and let me fix that real quick. That always happens. I forgot to fix that. It's my mistake, but that's typically how the streams go, don't they? Anyway, I have been incredibly busy this week. So, oh, that's another thing I forgot to do. Yep, there we go. Gah. Always how my streams end up going. But anyways, I've been kind of having a wacky week. So, I just wanted to do some sort of streaming. Get a stream in because I'm really trying to hit affiliate this week. Well, not this week, but this month. I would love to come out of this month with affiliate going into the month of October, especially because October is going to be heavy on the promotion for my Extra Life. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of Halloween related content over the month of October. So yeah, I do not know. I'm going to try my damnedest over this next week to finish Astral Train on stream. I at least want to get through the rest of the game, play it from start to finish, and then maybe we can revisit it at another time because I want to be able to be clear for when Code Vein comes out. Me and Xanthan are hopefully going to do a bunch of co-streaming with Code Vein. So I hope you guys are really looking forward to that because I certainly am. So we're going to hopefully be doing Code Vein as well. I might do Link's Awakening. I'm not 100% sure. I actually haven't played that live on stream. I did a complete playthrough of it on my Let's Play channel. So maybe we might look into doing some Link's Awakening. But I am not 100% sure if that's actually going to be what I end up doing or not. And I get my notifications going off. Forgot to mute my phone. Anyway, we're just gonna play around and just have this is good as the stream. The whole point of it is just to chill, relax, chat it up with the people who come by. So I really hope you stick around if you come to check out the stream. So we're gonna play a couple of the different modes that are going on right now for the weekly ritual. This is the one that I'm the best at. I'm not very good at most of the other modes. Mainly just because they're very specific. Mystery is like probably the one that I'm the worst at. It's fun, but yeah, it's definitely not my strongest game mode. So I like totally missed. I knew that this was coming out on PC, and I like completely just omitted it from my mind that it was coming out on PC. Like, it's already been out for like a few months on PC. I was like, freaking really? I didn't know it had already come out. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that the weekly ritual this week would be the relax modes. That one's really fun, and that one's super easy to get points for to contribute to the weekly ritual. At least for me, it's the easiest one, and it seems like it's the fastest one that the community at large seems to get the goal for. As you noticed when I jumped into the when I jumped in, the community is sitting only at 56% of the overall points needed to make the event a success, and I'm like totally backing myself into a corner right now with this. Now that I just thought about it. Not really playing as fast as I usually do. When I'm just like not streaming, and just playing on my own, I can typically, I typically play really quick. But yeah, hopefully, I do kind of want to make this a weekly thing, especially with the weekly rituals. I would like to stream Tetris Effect more and just make it a more chillax stream, you know, especially if I start building my audience. That way it can be something where I can take people's questions. We can talk about anything. We could talk about new gaming news, what games you're excited for that are coming out in the next couple weeks. Like for me, of course, obviously it is next week is going to be super important for me because of Link's Awakening, the remake, is coming out. So, and I have heard from people who have gotten to play early builds of it that it is an incredible game. And so that made me super happy to hear because I was super worried. Now, granted, the one thing that I haven't had anybody or at least seen any confirmation on just yet is that if the color dungeon is going to be in the new Zelda, I would really like that. I would like that a lot if the color dungeon is there because that's kind of important because that's the version of the game I played, and I think I left my water behind me. Yes, I did. Oh, let me get up and grab that real quick. Oh. Put that down there so I don't smack my microphone a whole bunch. We're gonna do Purify for a little bit, and then I might jump into Mystery just for the funsies. But yeah, definitely hoping the color dungeon makes a resurfacing. I don't see why it wouldn't. That was really the only major difference aside from it being in color that was added to the Game Boy Color release of Link's Awakening. I'm gonna start over because that was kind of messed myself up there. Am I like okay? Yeah, I try my best to. I don't know how I did as well as I did for my record on this, but I just had a really good string of luck when it came to clearing blocks. But yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to Code Vein. I'm actually going to be getting some new equipment here soon. I'm super excited for that because that means I'm going to have a little bit more options in terms of what I can stream. There's a bunch of stuff I want to stream. I am probably going to focus mostly on Resident Evil streaming over the course of October, as well as I'm going to be streaming Darkwood on actual Halloween day. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know when I'm going to stream that exactly because me and my family have been talking about the new animated Addams Family movie is coming out that day. And we were actually talking about maybe possibly going and seeing it as a family. So I might do that. But I might wait to stream until that evening, maybe. It just, I guess, depends on when we would go see the movie. So we'll have to see. I'd prefer it to be in the evening when I stream that because, you know, I want to actually shit my pants. Not really. Like I want to actually set the mood and set the tone. I think it would be a lot scarier at night as opposed to playing it during the day. Um, but I'm excited because Avalanche Reviews speaks really highly of that game. So I'm super excited. I'm super glad to have finally gotten it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of RE streams over that. I'm hopefully just going to look at the Resident Evil 4 through 6. I don't know if I'll get to 7. I don't actually have 7 at the moment. I've been waiting to see if I can snag it on PC during a sale, so that way I could get maybe it and all of its DLC in like a bundle. So that's kind of what I've been shooting for. So that's why I haven't jumped on buying a PS4 version of RE7 just yet. But yeah, I might end up doing that. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm looking forward to the month of October. I need to start working on a list of games that I'm going to be playing for my 24-hour marathon. Of course, the voting pool's still up. So for those of you who would like to vote, I certainly appreciate it if you check out the link down in the bottom to the straw poll. I'm promoting it like all hell, especially in these next coming weeks. I'm going to be promoting it even stronger. I'm going to go even harder on promoting that as much as I possibly can. Mainly due because I want as many votes as I possibly can get. It's sitting at about like 12 votes right now, and I feel like I could get so much more. So that's kind of the goal. Is I'm just going to try to keep promoting it as much as I possibly can. I don't want to I don't want to shun people away. See, that's the thing. Like, the voting is just so I have some form of user interaction. So, you know, people can feel like they actually contributed in a way, even if they didn't donate. So yeah, like I really do hope that I can maybe get a couple more votes in. It would be super welcome if that ends up being the case. I just want as many votes as I possibly can get to get definitive, because I think 2 of the games are tied right now. And so that's kind of like a big problem. Like, I don't want any of the games tied, because but if it comes down to it, that at least gives me another 3 hours of a game I could play, because then I could just, you know, be like, oh, well, 2 of the games tied, so I'm going to play them both, you know? So that way I actually have a variety of content I can actually stream over that. And yeah, it's going to be hell of a lot of fun. I'm looking very, very much forward to this year's Extra Life. There might be some big news coming out of that, depending on how things go and depending just kind of where I'm at next year, because I'm going to still continue to do Extra Life. I'm very passionate about it, and it is something that I feel it's a lot easier for a guy like me to be able to do, because with a lot of the other organizations out there, you have to go through sponsorship programs and things like that, and it's like I don't in the foreseeable future see me getting any sort of sponsorship anytime. So I would definitely like to see more. I would definitely like to do more with Extra Life, and as much as I can. And hopefully maybe build a little bit more of an audience, and then maybe I could start looking at doing charity work for other programs. Stuff that people actually would be a little bit more willing to donate even to. So yeah, we'll cross that road when we come to it. It's not like a huge detriment at the moment, but it is something that I would like to do, especially if I start seeing my numbers grow and start seeing more viewership, which is the kind of the key thing that's keeping me back right now. God damn it! I'm playing Tetris awfully right now. I'm usually not this bad. And I'm not being as harsh on myself, because I just want this to be a chill stream. Usually, like, if I'm doing like really, really horribly, I'll restart. Where I mess up, like freaking dropping blocks and stuff like that and putting them where I don't want them to go. But I did a lot better that time. I'm getting closer to that at 505. there are probably people who can beat my ass at this game like so bad. I've seen it. I am always blown away by watching Tetris competitions. The people who do Tetris competitions, like that actually play Tetris competitively, blow my mind. Because yeah, and it's freaking crazy. And real quick, I got just letting Xanthan know. I've been kind of memeing at Xanthan all day, and he's had a rough day. So, you know, as we all do, we have stupid days. So, um, hopefully, hopefully tomorrow's better. You know, that's kind of the mentality that I always try to have. You know, because I'm human. We're all human. You know, there are just certain days where things just do not go the ways that I want them. But you know, I always tell myself when I'm having a rough day, a rough night, whatever the case, that you know there is always tomorrow, um, even if it's not for sure. For sure, I mean, you know, because I can't definitively say I'll be here tomorrow, but you know, if I am, then there's tomorrow, you know. But yeah, yeah, I'm just I got a lot of stuff planned out, guys. I really really hope that I start seeing a bit more people come in. Um, I'm really looking forward to the end of this month because I have something amazing planned. I'm getting some equipment. Avalanche Jared, he's going to be passing off some equipment to me. I'm going to be getting a couple more games for said thing he's passing equipment off for. So I'm super excited because I have been wanting to broaden my content range so much, and I don't like relying on emulators. And you know, emulation is fine for what it is when you need it. But I've seen what people are able to stream, and it upsets me that I can't do the same. So I am making changes. I am hopefully going to get me equipment to help with that, and it's going to be even awesomer too because you know that'll give me a wide range of stuff that I can look at doing for like the extra life stuff. And this is where one of those things where I'm doing really really bad. I think it's because I'm talking. Like the really weird thing about when I play Tetris is that I like to do it without talking to people. um, it's one of my relaxing games. Like that might be something. If somebody gets in here, I might ask him about that. You know, I have certain games that I use as unwinding games that help me relax and help me kind of clear my head and focus. And Tetris is one of those games, and it's always been one of those games for me where even if I don't do good or I do stupid stuff like what I just did, um, it still actually is one of the few games that I use to relax. And so um, I don't typically. That's why I typically don't stream it. It's because mainly I'm just like I just want to chill and relax. But I didn't want to jump back into Astral Chain today, especially because I had promised I was gonna do it, and I got caught up with so much shit. Like I literally last night cranked out all my homework. I had been putting off my homework because of all the crap that I was doing over this week. So we're probably gonna do like one or two more times with this, and then we're gonna jump into maybe doing some mystery mode. And then that's when you can actually watch me lose my shit, because mystery mode is freaking bullshit. It is definitely a mode for far more advanced players than me, because a lot of the time I can't adapt to the craziness of the mystery mode. Speaking of mystery, if anybody has tried that new Mountain Dew, Voodoo, please, for the love of God, tell me what that freaking taste is supposed to be. Xanthan said Fruity Pebbles. My brother has said dreamsicle. I know it smells orange, but it doesn't taste like orange, so I have no freaking clue what that damn flavor is supposed to be. Also, speaking of things with flavor, I am pissed beyond belief that the freaking collector's cup for 7-Eleven, the collector's cups for 7-Eleven for the freaking Link's Awakening are exclusive to Canada. Like, Nintendo, why would you burn us like that, my dude? Like, come on now. I want my collector's cup. I want to come freaking play Zelda, drinking whatever I do drink out of a freaking Zelda-themed cup. Like, why does that have to be an exclusive promotion to freaking Canada, man? Like, that's some bull. I teased on Twitter though. I was messing with Xanthan and Xanthan's brother. I told him, I was like, we're going to Canada. Hop in. Just gonna drive up to Canada for freaking Slurpee cups. I don't know. Funny story is I've done stupid shit like that. Like me and my brothers one time went. We drove 3 hours out of town for Jack in the Box. So, and then we drove the 3 hours back into town after we got Jack in the Box and ate it. We were there for like 20 minutes. So yeah, I've done stupid stuff like that. I almost was half willing to commit to actually making that happen. I think it would have been hilarious, and I probably would have freaking knowing Gunnar Xanthan's brother, knowing his bro, I'm sure he'd probably want to film it and make a freaking documentary out of it. This epic journey, epic quest of epic destiny, us going to Canada to go get collector Slurpee cups. I wonder, that would be even like the greatest thing. Like, I don't know how Canada's laid out. I've never really looked because I don't have friends who live up there. At least I think I do. There's acquaintances I at least have that live up in Canada, and I think it would be hilarious. Like, what if there was like a 7-Eleven like right there on the border? Then it would make it even all the more worthwhile. Because then we don't have to actually go inland to Canada. We could just cross the border and just stop at the 7-Eleven. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to jump into mystery mode. Just to change it up for the stream. Because I know Tetris isn't the most enjoying game to watch people play, but that was kind of the whole point of the stream. This was more just for background, so I could talk and communicate and chill with chat. If any chat shows up. They might not, because, it's like, it's fucking Tetris. Who wants to watch me play fucking Tetris? But it's whatever. I'm just trying to stream more consistently. I'm hoping one of these days I'll stream something that'll catch on and get people's attention. Hopefully at the end of the month, when I start diving into games I have wanted to stream, yeah, like, hopefully when I start hitting out, like, some of the bigger stuff, oh, man, I'm gonna be so happy. Like, granted, I'm probably, like, I don't want to say I'm not gonna do certain games, but I definitely probably will revisit them if I stream them in the style that I intend to stream them. Because I am looking to get mods for a lot of my retro systems, to get RGB out of pretty much all of them. The good news is that a couple of them I won't actually have to do anything physically. So depending on what my finances look like at the end of the month, after everything has been predetermined and, all my bills and other established things have been paid for, I might look into see if I could maybe buy because the cool thing is with the Sega Genesis, with my Sega Genesis and my Saturn and my PS1, I could get RGB out of those systems, without having to do any sort of external modification. I literally just have to buy a cable from castlemania.com. Not a paid sponsor, by the way. I literally just have to buy a cable and some converters, and I would be able to get RGB out of 3 of my freaking systems, and I think that that's awesome. Now, granted, all my other systems, yeah, fuck. I don't want to end. I don't want to. I don't want to go out on a game over if I'm gonna switch modes. So we're gonna retry that. Just one more, promise. I put that over there. Oh my god, I'm gonna freaking smack my mic. I know I am. That's gonna dong. Um, but yeah. So hopefully, when I start streaming that, if I don't hit affiliate by the end of September, hopefully over the course of October, that will definitely be where I could get more viewership. Like I'm really striving. And the thing is too is as I don't want to like put any sort of like shade on it or anything like that. Like I want to be 100% transparent and honest. Affiliate's all I want. Like if partner comes somewhere down the line, and I'm playing awful, so we're gonna start over. If partner comes down the line, great. I'm not shooting for partner as much as I would love it. I really just want to get the ball rolling with the affiliate program and try that out and see if it helps motivate me and see if it helps get people to come watch the streams. You know, it would just be something, and I really do want to try my best to fulfill that goal. I've been kind of slacking off this week, and I hope to fix that next week. I'm really going to start looking at maybe trying to stream in the afternoon so I can use the evenings to chill, relax, and work on my classwork. But I was able to crank out all my classwork for this class last night for the week. So maybe I could just do that and designate a day, and because I was originally trying to do that, like I was trying to stay in this schedule of yeah, see, that's what I'm doing is I'm fucking myself up because I'm keep blocking the holes. I was trying to get myself in the schedule that every Monday and Tuesday I would crank out my classwork for the week, so that way I did not have to worry about it for the rest of the week. And it was working for a bit, and then I started getting comfy and started slacking off. But I'm really trying to fix that. So I'm gonna fix my stuff. I'm gonna really try to start streaming in the afternoons, because I think that's the problem with like a lot of evening streams, especially with people who have different time zones and things like that. You know, I don't think evening streamers really do well. Like, I've had occasional conversations in like my after hours portion at like my after hours streams and stuff like that. But no one really like hardcore stuck around or anything like that, you know. So hopefully maybe if I could get in the habit of streaming in the afternoons, you know, that could leave me open to not only getting my classwork done, but I could go chill with Xanthan and his streams when he streams. So because I like being there for those. I like giving him that viewership, because I know he's really been trying to help me out as much as he can when he's available to do so, and I thank him a whole bunch for that. So yeah, hopefully maybe I could start getting my schedule a little bit back together and things like that. Oh man. Yeah, it's just been crazy, but I am looking forward to the end of the month because I'm gonna be changing up things here and, you know, really starting to try shoot for more content on the channel. Like I really want to like start hitting. There's a plethora of games that I've wanted to hit for some time that I haven't gotten around to yet, and I really want to. A lot of them are retro, and it's just I don't have a means to really stream. That was the whole point of the Elgato. Because I wanted to be able to stream my actual HDMI consoles without having any issues. And so far, it's worked. Okay. So, we're going to go into mystery now. I cannot say that this is going to go over well. It probably isn't. I didn't realize you could choose a level for that, but we're going to choose Kaleidoscope because Kaleidoscope makes sense, in my opinion, for this mode, just because of the whole weird, crazy layout that this level has. So basically, what Mystery Mode is you play a normal game of Tetris from level 1 to level 15, and eventually you have certain things that happen, like that. You get gigantic fucking blocks. I realized pretty quickly that it is detriment to keep your board as low as you possibly can, because it just won't be the greatest. Yeah, see, like they've got I don't know how I'm supposed to diffuse that one. Uh-oh. Yeah, see? We're already off to a fantastic start, and I haven't even gotten to the, second level of speed. Yeah, and they do weird shit like this, where they zoom in the screen, and then do other stupid, weird shit. That's why I don't like this mode. Oh, that first run went horribly. That's horrible. And I have an A rank in this. How the hell did that happen? Oh, God. I didn't even get past level 1 speed and already shit hit the fan. Oh, my God. Yeah, no joke. Friggin' ain't gonna hit freaking level 100 anytime soon at that rate. God. Yeah, I like that. Survive the random effects. Yeah, I fucking wish. I wish it was that easy. Because you make this ridiculous. So I'm thinking the best choice of action is probably to stop trying to shoot for Tetrises, even though I am building for... See, some of the effects are not bad. I've played with no ghost before. That's how all the original Tetrises were. Sometimes I fuck up, but, oh, we're going to have another effect on top of that? That's neat. What does that mean? Oh, fun. I appreciate you giving me multiple of the same block. That is amazing. I wish you would have done that when I had straight lines, because that would have been fucking phenomenal. Damn, really blew myself up. No ghost. And then there's fucking bombs, because of course there is. So I guess you're supposed to... I guess the idea is you clear a... Okay, so that's how you defuse the bombs, is you clear a line in its explosion vicinity? Oh god. You shifted my shit and you zoomed in my screen? God, man, you guys are... Satan's playing rude tonight. I've already sold my soul to him enough. I think this is just... it's making overdue late fees and stuff on the lease on my soul. Yeah, I've never seen this all the way to the end. I've never gotten to level 15. Well, that's neat. I mean, that's not too detrimental. It means I just can't plan ahead until that comes back. But I think the main idea is to sort of try to beat the clock as much as you can. So that way you're not 7 in a row. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm moving along. We're getting things going. I am not a big fan of this mode. Why does it make like slamming noises? Oh, well, that's neat. You know, you put a bomb somewhere where I can't feasibly get to it in the amount of time before it blows up. That's fun. Thank you, game. Thank you, game. Yeah, now I'm really up shit creek without a paddle. This is bad. This is real bad. Even worse. I mean, that's not too bad of an effect. The problem is that I can't really. I'm trying to like lower my board down because it blew up half of it. So, okay, you flipped it, and then now I can't tell what piece is coming. So, no biggie. I'll try to work it. Try it. That's what we do. We adapt. Adapt to the shit. I'm just trying to... The big thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my board lower. But it's like not panning out because... Oh boy. Oh boy, I can't hold. That's a major problem, especially because of how far I am along. Oh, weird pieces. That's all well and good. Yeah, that's fine. Do that. Okay. Oh god, this is the one that I hate. I hate this probably the most. It's the one effect that I can't stand this when it does this cuz I get so disoriented. Cuz have you ever, tried to play Tetris upside down? It's not fun. I could certainly tell you that. Oh my god, this is... It's being kind of generous. I'm not gotten something that's truly fucked me just yet. I'm waiting for it though. It's gonna happen. Is the shit thing. I know it's gonna happen. Something's gonna freaking happen that's gonna royally just mess up this whole fucking thing. And I think I jinxed myself because yeah, it's the fucking bomb. I'll be surprised. Yep. There was no way. There was no way with the way that my board was set up. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah, let's try to hold on to that big piece just for a freaking moment. Yes. I think we're Ripperino, guys. I can't use my hold, because if I use my hold, I'll force the big piece onto me. Yeah, I think I kind of screwed myself even harder, because I didn't let the big piece drop. I mean, that might kind of help. I don't know. I really don't know what I was doing there. Fun. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Yeah, this mode sucks. this is why I'm blown away I have an A rank. How that even transpired that I have an A rank. I guess I was just moving fast enough that I could get enough of a score. Yeah, this mode is just not good. This mode's not fun. Um, and again, if I was probably a better Tetris player, I could probably do a little bit more with this. But it's just like, I try to go for how I typically played. You just really fucking can't, because you get thrown so many fucking variables, and it just messes up every single freaking thing you were trying to do. Yeah, I really don't like these like weird ass shape things that they keep fucking throwing at me. Yeah, I'm really messing myself up here. Oh, did like nothing happen? Oh, no ghost. That's fun. The no ghost is kind of okay. Sometimes it's fine, but I might go back to Purify, because at least I was talking about stuff. Like now I'm actually like genuinely trying to focus, because it's like I can't. Oh, you son of a bitch. Of course you would do that. Yeah, I really need to stop trying to shoot for Tetrises. I just need to like actually just try to shoot for maybe doubles, if anything. Oh, here we go. We're gonna blow up. We're gonna blow up probably part of my freaking board, because of course. That. Mm, yeah, I'm like really stunned that I have an A rank on this. Like, I wish I would have recorded that, because that was probably like the best session I had in this mode. Because this mode is fucking awful. It's sad, that I say that, because really and truly, I won't lie. Like this game is probably the best damn Tetris that's ever come out ever. Um, at least to me, because the last good Tetris I felt that I played was the one on 64. Um, and that was the one that really got me good at Tetris. Actually, I became so good that no one wanted to play with me anymore. Because I always kicked their fucking asses. I mean, I don't like to brag. Like, I am definitely not. I am definitely not on tournament level of Tetris play. Watching freaking Puyo Puyo Tetris tournaments made me sick. With how ridiculously fast those people were able to play. I am nowhere on that speed by any stretch of the imagination. I do still, when I can get a groove going, I could typically, for the most part, I can kind of get quick, but when it really comes down to it, it's like the majority of my speed, like the majority of the time, I play patiently. Um, I get a game plan going when I first start. Oh my god, you added. Oh my god, that was an awful combo. It was like, oh, here's 7 of these awful bricks, and we're gonna get rid of your ghosts too. So have fun. GG no re. Well, that was super generous. Thank you, Satan. I did not expect you to be so nice today. Um, he's probably not gonna like me taking advantage of that though. Not too bad. Okay, let's get back to going. I just want to beat it once on stream. That would be nice, and then I could quit, and then I could go play the other mode. Countdown's a little bit more fun than this. I don't think have yet to have it happen, but I would love to see the big straight the big straight piece. Because I think that would be hilarious, because it's just like this big freaking behemoth of a straight line. And that one's actually probably the easier of the ones to deal with. Okay, we're back here. I'm nowhere near the score. See, I could see where that could also be a negative, because that would really suck if you had something like really good set up, like for combos and stuff like that. I could definitely see where that would be really bullshit. I fucked that up. That was... Yeah. That was my mistake. I fucked that up because I moved the piece. I didn't move the piece in time. Oh, what in fuck's name? Oh, yeah. I've had too many blessings, and now I'm freaking gonna fuck myself up. Oh, why did you do this to me, game? Why do you give me the worst one? Oh, no. This might be where this journey comes to an end, because I get so fucking disoriented trying to play like this. This is... Oh, God. And the fact that it keeps going, it has the fucking audacity to keep going until... Oh, my God, yeah, and fucking a bomb, too. Oh, yeah. GG no re. We're done. We're done ski. What? And that's why that mode's bullshit. God, that was annoying. That was really annoying. Oh man. Shit. That was stupid annoying. Because of fucking course it would do some bullshit like that at the very end. Let's do countdown for a bit, and I might go back to Purify. It depends. If nobody shows up here with like in the next 20 minutes or so, I might just kind of go. go back and continue watching Mobile Suit Gundam, because I've actually I am almost done with the original series. I've got just like a few more episodes left to watch, so that'll be super nice. Yeah, I think I've got like 4 episodes of Mobile Suit left to watch. Hey, how's it going, Andre? How have you been, man? This mode's interesting, but oh yeah, like Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, I've been keeping up with it a bit. I mean, mostly tried to in any case. Okay, yeah, perfect. Tetris. Um. Wait, Death Stranding, aka Ups the video game? I guess I'm missing the reference there. Forgive me for not 100% knowing what that's... I'm sure that's funny to the people who get it, but... Oh, UPS. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thank you for clarifying. UPS, the video game. Okay, now that's funny. Thank you. Thank you, because I was totally fucking lost at what the hell you were talking about. Since you do deliveries most of the game. Yeah, like... I think we've already kind of discussed this, you know, but I'll just go and say it again on record. Like, I don't get what was so revolutionary about this game. Like, it pisses me off that was, like, the thing that got, like, the most airtime at Tokyo Game Show. Why the fuck did that game deserve a freaking 70-minute presentation? Who the hell wants to sit and watch freaking 70 minutes of that? Or 40 minutes, however long the gameplay trailer actually was. Like, you know, people... I think the thing that really upsets me is like, you know, people want to talk shit about games like Minecraft, but at least there's fucking shit to do in Minecraft. Like, you're not limited to this boring gameplay, oh, because it's about the narrative experience, or, you know, yeah, and for the most part, you know, that's the thing that Kojima has been riding his fucking coattails on, you know, all that people are going to come for the story, they're not going to come for the fucking gameplay, and it's like, well, Kojima, I would like gameplay, like, not gonna front, like, that would entice me even more if the gameplay was even more, like, was interesting enough to, you know, like, you know, like, the gameplay was interesting enough to warrant me to actually look at it, you know. They had combat for 30 seconds. What is the story? That's what I want to know. I don't know. I get some post-apocalyptic, like, thing. I think, you know, the concept that's been beaten to goddamn death and back. Like, I say that, you know, I'm a fan of the Fallout games. I really am. But it's like, you know, I don't need every game to be fucking Fallout. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need a million freaking stories of a freaking disaster, you know, that has wiped out the majority of the human race or whatever. You know, there's so much of that in not even just Western games. There's a lot of that in freaking anime as well. It just gets boring. Like, that's such a boring concept now. Concept-wise, it's interesting. People have to stop putting Kojima on a pedestal. Well, they're not going to, is the thing. And I think that's probably the biggest problem is Kojima has probably realized that there are people who literally worship him like he's some sort of freaking deity, and he's going to roll with that. You know, he's going to cater to those people because they're the one who are going to buy and play his game the most. You know, I don't disrespect the hustle. Like, I get it. You're going to want to, you're gonna want to cater to the audience that's gonna play and buy your freaking shit. Like, I totally, that's nothing new. It's just, I think, people just have like these over glorified expectations of him, and I don't know. Like, I mean, I ironically call Suda51 a god of game design. Like, I know that's not true. I just say it. I say it ironically. I think I said unironically. Excuse me. I say it ironically, because I just love Suda's work. It's interesting enough, even if the games themselves don't end up being these absolute freaking masterpieces. He gives me enough in his games to want to come back to play them. And getting me excited about what the prospect of his future titles and future endeavors are. The only game that I ever had a problem with Suda was fucking Let It Die. I thought Let It Die was absolutely fucking trash. But yeah, like, I just, it's people just get their freaking hopes way too damn high, and I know this game is not. The sad thing is that this game is gonna, like, Death Stranding is obviously going to. It's gonna get like freaking praise across the board. Like, we know this is gonna happen, and it sucks to know that that's kind of the shit that we live in is people are gonna go freaking give that game a unreal amount of praise when it doesn't deserve it. And so far, it's done nothing to deserve any of the attention that it's getting, other than it's Kojima being fucking goddamn insane. Okay. And I know you're like typing it up like crazy in there, Andre. Just okay. I understand the people who are hyped for the game. It's you can't just overhype something that's shown so little. Suda's games are genuinely great compared to Death Stranding. Heck, Travis Strikes Back is not a story about Travis, but Suda himself as a person and how much being a creator means to him while respecting the audience. I didn't really get that out of Travis Strikes Back, but if that actually is the intent, that, like, the narrative behind how that was supposed to be, I'm totally cool with that. I personally didn't get that out of it, but I loved Travis Strikes Back. I thought it was a freaking, it was a nice taste to what was to come. It definitely was different, and I think certain aspects of it were kind of dumb. But aside from that, I think it was perfectly fine. Like, I don't think it was a bad game by any means. Oh, they're campy as fuck. I ain't gonna sugarcoat that at all. They're campy as fuck. But I think that's the charm. Is that even if the gameplay is not this revolutionary fucking thing, the stories are just the right kind of campy that it's like you can go back to them and laugh and be like, oh man, this is so ridiculous. This is so just like over the top. And I think that's what I like about Suda, is because at least with that, and even with the extent of Let It Die, he's kept that. I mean, with Let It Die, you have a freaking Grim Reaper with freaking, like, hypno glasses rolling around on a freaking scooter or skateboard or whatever it was that he rolled around on, calling your character Senpai. So I think it's just the right breed of ridiculous, like, it's enough ridiculous that it makes you want more, and the good thing is that Suda stayed consistent with that. Is that his narratives and everything are kooky and wacky, and I like that. I prefer that and consistency as opposed to, like, Kojima was trying to do these, like, really super serious things with Metal Gear, and now it's just like, what the fuck is even Death Stranding? Like, it like, Death Stranding just doesn't, it's no Metal Gear, like, and that's totally fine. I don't want it to be Metal Gear, and I don't want Kojima to just do Metal Gear. Like, I know that was one of the reasons why 5 suffered so much, is because he just got burnout from working on so many different freaking Metal Gear titles. And I totally understand that, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. I just this Death Stranding is nothing has impressed me about it so far. I was interested in the beginning, but now it's like I'll wait for the game to be a freaking $15 grab at a secondhand store, instead of, oh, I'm gonna buy that game day one and pay the $60 and pay the extra 40 for the season pass because I just want Kojima to lick my asshole. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just it's sad that like this game is like they try to overhype it like it's this fucking gonna be this marvel, like it's gonna be this thing that's gonna stand the test of time, like it's gonna be like this generation's like Super Mario World or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I'm like, no, it's not going to be. Like I can't even definitively say that there is any game I've played the in recent memory that I will 100% say 20 years from now people are still going to be talking about it. I know like in my inner circle, of like in real life friends and stuff like that. For example, me and Xanthan, we're probably going to be talking about Dark Souls freaking 20 years from now and still talking about it. But I there's not a game that I've ever played that I think would be something like that. It's so ingrained in people's minds. Like, and the only, I'll take that back. The only one I could even think about would probably be Fortnite. And the reason I say that is because so many of the youth today, as well as, the kids in school and like the high schoolers, even just like last year's group of high schoolers that graduated, were talking about Fortnite in their freaking, speeches at their graduation. So it's like, I think that I could definitively, like, not definitively say, but put money on that 20 years from now, that game's still going to be talked about. Which is their appeal, person Hex. Kojima trying to be deep isn't working. Heck, Metal Gear story is over the top anime. Death Stranding will probably be talked about for several months before being forgotten. Debatable. I would say it's probably going to be talked about more than other games. Especially this is what's going to happen. It's going to stay in people's minds, especially if it ends up being a gigantic fucking piece of shit. Like, if it just gets bombed to shit by critics, and critics ain't having it, and critics just don't care for this gameplay, or they talk shit about it, that'll be the reason it'll stay in people's minds. And that'll be the reason why it's talked about, is because you'll get the one side who have been, dick riding Kojima this whole time, thinking that he's a god amongst men in the gaming world, and be like, no, you just don't understand his vision, you don't understand this, you don't understand that. And then you'll get like, all the normal people and then the game journos saying, no, it's shit. This isn't worth $60 fucking dollars. Yeah, like it's a shame that it's going to get that legacy. And I really feel that this will be the final nail in Kojima's coffin. Like, if this game doesn't appease the masses, Kojima will still make money, but I definitely feel that if this game doesn't go over well with the gaming community as a whole, that it's going to be a stain on Kojima's legacy. Like, even more so than the batshittery of freaking Metal Gear Solid 4. The parts that you actually got to play. In any case, the batshittery of the parts that you actually got to play. Some people will love it. Some will consider it an overrated dumpster fire. Yeah, exactly. And that's just the nature of things. I'm not sitting here saying that every single fucking game I've ever played is a goddamn masterpiece, because fucking no, they ain't. There's a lot of games I like that are very heavily flawed in many aspects, but I still love them. And so there will be that crowd that, obviously, that they don't find fault in what Kojima did, but I just think if the general consensus is that it's awful, I think that might be a wake up call for Kojima, and it might be a wake up call for the people who freaking let him just do whatever the fuck he wants. You know, that maybe you should rear him in a bit. You know, like, who the hell was in the board meeting when Kojima decided that a pissing mechanic was needed? You know, like, who? You know, who was the one that encouraged Kojima to do that? Or were they just like, oh, okay, you know, just going along with it? Just like, oh yeah, if Kojima thinks it's a good idea, it's a good idea. You know, again, people give shit to Minecraft, but at least it's just a hunger meter. At least you don't have to periodically eat and take a shit, you know, in Minecraft. You know, it's like, aside from that, though, the other stuff that was announced at Tokyo Game Show, I know that they showed a little bit more of the new Guilty Gear, which is nice. So I'm happy that that's getting some well-deserved attention. Seems a lot of people are excited for it. I'm excited for it. Hopefully, it'll get me more excited than Rev. I was excited for Rev, but I didn't commit to it like I thought I was going to. Um, MGS4 was like a fun kind of dumb. It's got problems, but I enjoyed what I played. I had genuine fun with Sonic 06, despite it being a considered a train wreck by a lot of people. Um, the last Sonic game that I actually gave a shit about was Sonic Adventure 2, and I played the ever living shit out of that on GameCube. Um, I don't really have like an overall arcing opinion of 06. Like, I've seen numerous reviews on it. I know why it's bad, but you know, again, it's really hard for me to definitively be like, no, that game's absolutely fucking garbage. When so much of that's subjective. You know, if people can find fun in certain games, like, I'm envious of that. Actually, you know, it's kind of like how I feel about the Lords of Shadow games. You know, I genuinely do not have fun when I play those games. I don't. I can't stomach them. I can't stand them. It just angers me beyond belief, and that's not even because I'm freaking, oh my god, Iga is the only one who can make a proper Castlevania. That wasn't even it. You know, it wasn't fun. I didn't have fun. Like, I tried very hard to have fun with it, and I couldn't. And you know, I don't harp on the people for them saying that they can have fun with it. You know, it's like, I was a huge, like, I hated God of War for ages. I hated that franchise, and it's only been in recent time that I've been somewhat okay with it. You know, so it's kind of that thing where it's just like, you know, on most, you know, like, for most games, yes, you will get those games that on a technical level they are flawed beyond belief. But you know, if you have fun playing it, who the fuck cares? Like, you know, I can't take that away from people if they seriously have fun with something like that. That's why freaking Drill, when he was all getting on my ass about freaking Nitro Plus Blasters, like that freaking all-female fighting game that isn't really that great. Like, I have fun playing it. It's just it's the right amount of stupid. It's fun. Like, it's the right amount of busted. It's fun. It reminds me of a lot of like why I play Mugen builds, because they're stupid, they're fun, they're supposed to be broken. Like, that's the whole point of Mugen. Like, yes, you can theoretically make a really balanced and good fighting game with the Mugen engine, and a lot of people have. You know, a lot of people made balanced versions with specific characters. Like, there's a I know that there's a Mugen build floating around. It's like a crossover. It's like Fist of the North Star cross Guilty Gear. And like, you know, so the concept there, especially when you limit yourself to, you know, specific aspects like that, where you're only putting in certain characters and stuff like that. I think you can make a balanced game with the Mugen engine, but for most part, most people I don't think do. I don't think that that's. I don't think balance is the is the term that people look at when you talk about Mugen. Um, so yeah, it's just like piss off. Like if I have fun with a game, even if it's a Kasoke, because I'm so weeb that I didn't even know what that fucking term meant when it freaking was spoken to me. I didn't know that there were weebs like more than me that like so much. I didn't know the term so bad I had to Google it because I didn't know what it meant. Like you can't just like yeah like Mugen never gets old. Oh yeah like especially too and like uh, when I am having a bad day, like I will throw on Salty Bet and I will watch for hours. I will have Salty Bet going on in the background. Like it's just stupid fun. Like we actually had real life, real money betting once during a session of when me and some people were hanging out and we were watching Salty Bet. We were actually putting real money on bets. Like I mean, it was just stupid fun, and that's what's fun. Like that's the thing that I think a lot of people like. Now, granted, narrative driven experiences that focus more on like the exposition, they can be fun to certain people. Like I won't lie. I think it takes a certain type of person to enjoy those type of games. I'm not really freaking big on point and click. Like point and click games I used to be really big on back when I was a kid because it got my brain thinking. And when I was able to piece together, like if I got stuck, like it's gonna be the funniest thing, and just hear me out on this. So one thing I distinctly remember is that there was a point and click CD-ROM game for Rugrats, and it was done. It was done in a style where you had to collect items, you had to click around on things and solve puzzles and things like that. And the feeling of achievement I got every time I got a little bit further in it, like it was so cool too, because like the teacher, like this teacher knew that I really liked video games, and actually allowed me to stay in the school during recess so I could play this game because she wanted me to beat it. Like so it was like just this cool thing. But yeah, like the sense of achievement I felt every time I got a little bit further, like so I think to that extent there is some sort of draw and appeal to games of that nature, but the gaming landscape has changed drastically since the days of when I was a kid. While I myself as a kid might have found those games entertaining, I'm not really big into them now. And so it's kind of just the nature of things. Like the preferences of gamers change, and I don't really, oh my god, I just like really boned myself. I don't think that Kojima, or at least what is happening with Death Stranding, is really taking that into consideration. I think they just think people will freaking think it's some sort of masterpiece and just be along for the ride, and I just don't think that that's going to be the case. Yeah, I was mentioning Salty Bet. Salty Bet's fucking amazing. I don't have a complete disdain for Western games. With me, it's more I just it's not my go-to if I were to say anything. Like Western games are definitely not my preferred type of games. Like um I think for me it's definitely just because the like the anime inspired the Japanese games have so much more flash and appeal. Like you look at a game like Yakuza, for example. Like Yakuza has style. It has this distinct, like it stimulates you in a specific way, and it's like you get this like this authenticness where you're running around, Japanese cities, but then like you just like run into a guy who's like, hey, you looked at me funny, let's fight. And then you get to a street brawl and like a crowd forms around and they start cheering you on as you beat the shit out of these dudes with traffic cones and street signs and bike railings, and you beat them up with a freaking bike tire, or you punch them so hard that they freaking erupt into nothingness. So I think with that, it's just, there's something about Japanese games, and not to say that Western games don't have that same appeal. Obviously, Tetris Effect, it's a wonderful fucking game, has a ton of visual stimuli. It's definitely eye candy. But like with some Western games, they just don't have that. Like they want to focus more on like this. And one thing I've noticed in recent too, especially with like Western games, it feels like they're focusing a lot, like there's like a lot of the Until Dawn sort of thing. And that's kind of another thing too, is that where Japanese games don't follow trends, a lot of Western developed stuff follows trends, especially on the indie scene. Like, how many fucking clones of PT came out when PT got removed off the PlayStation Store? Like, I probably watched at least 5 to 6 different playthroughs of different PT clones. Like, so it's just like one of those things where it's like, that's something. I got so bored with that. Like, there was for a time there too the whole like 16-bit revolution where people were like playing off the nostalgia card and like, oh hey, remember Metroid, remember Super Mario World, remember this game, yeah, we're bringing those back. Like, and not to say that every single one of those games has been bad. Axiom Verge and Shovel Knight are fucking fantastic. Cave Story, even though I haven't played it, I've heard nothing but good things about Cave Story. Rogue Legacy, to an extent, it kind of had that 16-bit style. I mean, it was a lot more fleshed out, but Rogue Legacy is freaking fun as hell. Like, so there is great people who really do play on that nostalgia. Freaking The Vagrant, like, you want to fucking talk about something like Dragon's Crown-esque? Vagrant's right up that alley, and it's amazing. But that wasn't Western developed. I think that was made by a Chinese company, which mind blowing when you really do think about it. Still haven't beaten that game. I really need to freaking get back to streaming it, because I was streaming it there for a minute, and I was getting pretty far along, and I never beat it. Oh yeah, it's done. Oh yeah, people need to get over PT. Yeah, they do. They really, 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 really do. Like, I think that's where a lot of my, if you will, Kojima disdain comes from, because so many people think that game was going to be so much better than what we got. And it's like, I'm glad that something of it existed. Like, it sucks when games kind of become lost media, if you will. There was a game that until recently I didn't remember what the hell it was called, because I actually found out you can download the demo of it. Somebody actually archived it. There was a Metroidvania. There was like a Metroid style. I almost said Metroidvania, but it was more or less a Metroid clone. But you played as like an anthropomorphic, like, panda girl or something like that. It was in very, very early stages of development, so there was a lot of bugs and stuff like that. But it played like a Metroid game, like, and it was fun from what I remember. And it just disappeared, like, fucking just gone. And so it's like, yeah, like, it sucks when games suffer that fate. I don't personally like that. I think it sucks, because it's like, you don't want stuff to just be lost to the annals of history like that. But things happen, and see, that's the thing though. I wasn't holding out for this hope that the game was called Prometheus, by the way. I wasn't holding out this hope that it was going to be the next Metroid. Um, Even with Axiom Verge, like I was very hesitant. Like it got me hyped as fuck every time I saw the trailer play at work. But I wasn't holding out this hope that it was going to be a one for one. This is the predecessor to Super Metroid. Like this is the game that succeeds it. Um, I mean, yeah, successor, not predecessor. Predecessors would be before. But yeah, that this would be the successor to Super Metroid. I didn't think that, like, but I still fucking love the game. Even with that, not being the notion. I love Silent Hill and all, but it's best the series doesn't return, considering how Konami is, since Konami did outsource most of their properties last gen. Yeah. But speaking of, I don't know I don't know if you have a Switch, but the demo for Rogue Core, Contra Rogue Core, came out. Um, I tried it last night, and I don't hate it like I thought I was going to, but there's certain things about it that definitely don't scream Contra to me. Like it seems like they tried to do like a more modernized take instead of it being just straight up the arcade action that Contra's supposed to be. You don't have one hit deaths, which fair enough. I am somewhat okay with that because considering that I know if they went, especially because as far as I know, I think this game is going to be Switch exclusive. I have not heard if they're going to be releasing it to PC and stuff like that yet. But considering that most people nowadays do not have the patience for that sort of type of game where one hit kills you, I definitely understand why they went that route. I would have preferred the option. I don't know if it'll be in the full game where there's an option like that. It would be super nice, but that's to be seen because I'll have to wait and see, and I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be picking it up on launch. I actually might, but it kind of depends. But it felt different, like it didn't scream Contra. Like obviously it has the quirkiness of Contra where it's very over the top, but it certainly didn't feel like a Contra game. It felt more, if I was to compare it to anything, I would say, I want to say that there's something I played like that's very similar, but I can't think of it at the time. But it just didn't have the same sort of feel I was hoping it would. I was kind of hoping that they were going to just make it more like Neo Contra on the PS2. Because Neo Contra plays very, very much like Ikari Warriors. Like, Neo Contra plays like Ikari Warriors. And I wouldn't have minded that because I like Neo Contra. I do. Definitely not one of the better games of the series, but it's fine in its own right. I don't think it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, like if they had gone specifically with that, I think I would have been fine. They dropped the F-bomb a lot. The characters say fuck a lot, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because that seems like they're just trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. And that's kind of upsetting, because Contra doesn't need to be edgy. Like, Contra 4 is fucking phenomenal. So it's like, I don't understand why they didn't decide to go back to the Contra 4 style. Like, Contra 4 is fine, and a Contra 5 would have been more appreciated than whatever the shit that they're doing now with Rogue Core. But yeah, Konami has the potential to improve. Pachinko is outlawed in certain parts of Japan. LOL, laughing my ass off Neo Contra. I like that game, oddly enough. I like Shattered Soldier a lot. And a lot of people prefer Shattered Soldier. I don't think Shattered Soldier is bad at all. I don't. I think it's fine. and it plays more akin to a traditional Contra where it's side scroller, so that's fine. Um, but yeah, if I were to say of the two that I prefer of the two PS2 titles, I would probably prefer Neo Contra over Shattered Soldier. Um, just because it's a little bit more lenient because I know that like the only way to progress in Shattered Soldier is to do really well like with your overall hit rate, and I didn't necessarily like that mechanic, but you know, to each their own. I don't think it's a bad game by any means. But yeah, I don't know. Um, if I get my hands on the full game for Row Core, then I can make a more definitive assessment. Um, they kind of blue ball you with the demo. They cut it off like really quickly. Like you basically get to do a tutorial and you get to fight like a mid boss, and then when you're actually gonna fight the real boss, like the game stops. And I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like you couldn't just give me a full level, Nintendo, Konami? Like please, could you just do that instead of the whole blue balling where it's like, oh, you see the massive boss show up, that's the thing you gotta fuck up, um, but you don't get to. So that was kind of upsetting." You had to be really good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you did. And that's I think why I haven't really played a lot of Shattered Soldiers because of that reason because I wasn't really the best at Contra to begin with. I've gotten better over the years. Um but yeah, I definitely am not a pro at Contra. The enemy design I don't really remember it from Shattered Soldier, so I'd have to probably go back and play it just to refresh my memory. I am happy to say though I at least have that game cased. My Neo Contra copy is actually loose, and I really hope to eventually change that somewhere down the line and get an actual boxed copy. I'm getting really anal about that now, like to the point where like I sort of outright refusing to buy loose. Um, and I'm making a note that if I go to like GameStop, for example, that the fucking case is on the wall, and it's not an actual generic case. Only with my disc-based media, though, I could give a shit less about all my cartridge-based media. Like, I have too much of it that, like, even if I did have all the cases for my cartridge stuff, like, I wouldn't have room for it. So, it's not a super deal breaker for me, and it's easier, in my opinion, to store cartridges. But with like, and I, so this is kind of the thing with that is the reason I say that is because with the way that I have my cartridges stored, I have them in drawers. And so it's kind of cool because you like with the way that the spines are set up, um you can see what game like you could just pull the drawer open and you can visually scan your eyeballs over the game over the game spines so you know what game to pick. And so for me, that's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And so I'm totally fine with not having boxes for a lot of that stuff. And not only that, because especially like when it comes to NES, Super Nintendo, and N64, cardboard boxes don't last and they're expensive as all hell to buy. It sometimes can double or and triple the price depending on the game, if it includes the box. And so yeah, not within my budget for a lot of that. But yeah, like when like because my drawer for my NES, Super Nintendo, and 64 stuff like it's and I actually got fan made end labels for the 64 cart. So when you pull the drawer open, you can visually scan your eyeballs over the top of the cartridges and know exactly what game you're getting. With CDs, with the way that I have all my CDs based media, my disc based media set up, it's not like that. They're all in CD books. And so, yeah, I mean, it's fine if you open the CD book, but it doesn't look nice on the shelf. I've got two like massive CD books that have all my CD based media in it, all the stuff that doesn't have cases, and even more so, I'm even more hesitant to start buying loose stuff because the last time I opened my CD book and I looked at my Darkstalkers disc, it's cracked, like it literally like a chunk of it like cracked off. And so, and especially considering that game's not cheap, I was kind of really pissed about that. So that's kind of why I'm starting to try to really push to get cased media as opposed to um, just buying it loose and being like, oh, I'll just put it in the CD book. You know. Yeah. As for the new Guilty Gear, super hyped for that as well. Holy shit. It's looking really good. It's awesome that they showed off May. I know that it was, I think it was confirmed that Ramlethal is going to be in the game, which I'm super happy about because then I'll have my two mains. So I'll have Ram and Kai. I hope they rework Ramlethal to be better because I know she was not one of the better characters for Xrd. She might have been fine in the first game, but like when Rev came out, I don't think anybody really played her because she's really slow in comparison to the other characters. But I fucking love her. I love playing as her. She's so much fun, and I'm just like, why does every character I resonate end up on low? Like, why does every character I want to play end up in bottom tier? It pisses me off. It's like the characters I want to get really good with are the characters that all fucking suck in competitive play. Yeah, and that's totally fine. Like Soul's completely viable, and most of the time, yeah, when Ram wouldn't work, I'd play Kai. And I would definitely say too, I kind of view it like this that Kai and Soul are probably the best characters to get into the game with, and then you can start kind of deviating once you sort of figure out the fundamentals. So I think Soul and Kai are really good for that. I think they're well rounded enough, and they'll always be mid top tier. Like they're never going to not be. They're the staple characters, um, unless you're fucking Capcom, like what they did fucking Ryu dirty. But you know, I think that it's fair to say that they're a good way to get introduced to the fundamentals of the game, at least in my opinion. That's how I've always explained it to people who are interested. At least I'm like, you want to play the game? Do you like Ryu? Do you like Ken? Kai and Soul are your Ryu and Ken. Kai's design looks really really spiffy. I'm upset that they got rid of his long hair. I'm gonna miss that aspect. Um, but I do like the freaking jacket off the shoulders. I'm a big fucking proponent of that. Like I don't know what it is about that, but to me that just fucking is awesome. Like I love characters that have that going for them. That's what I really like about Code Vein, because that's actually one of the freaking sets of gear you can get is a jacket off the shoulders. Um, Trash Fighter 5 is gone from my PS4 for the 10th time. Yeah, dude. So I'm not gonna lie. Like that was a game I really it was exactly the same as Lords of Shadow. It was a game I really really tried to love. Like I tried so desperately to love that game, and it sucks because that was like the last big game that really the FGC here played consecutively before we unfortunately broke up and everything. Well, disbanded should be a better term. Um, and that was the game. You know, that was the game that everybody was into. Like Tekken 7 came out and kind of shook up things a little bit. KOF 14, same sort of deal, but nobody really stuck with Tekken or with KOF 14. The only guy who played consecutively with me in KOF 14 was a guy named Mike. He moved, but he was a super awesome dude, and I missed the ever living shit out of him. Um, it was a lot of fucking fun playing KOF 14 with him because he was learning the game like I was. So I was with somebody who I wasn't just getting my ass kicked a million times over to. Um, but yeah, Street Fighter Five, I really did try to give it the benefit of the doubt. I hated the fucking game when it launched because there wasn't a single character I wanted to play. I tried Mika in the beta. Um, I didn't resonate with the character. I wanted to play Rashid originally. On retrospect, if I had gotten good with him, he's one of the top tier characters. So I probably would be pretty damn, fucking good with him if I had actually committed. The problem was is that so many people were saying that they wanted Rashid to be their main as well. And that was kind of always my thing. I didn't like playing the same character as everybody else. And so I was like, well, I don't want to play Rashid. Well, nobody in our scene was playing Chun. And I've never played Chun in any fucking game, like even in Alpha. Like I didn't play Chun at all. Like I knew how to kind of play her, but I never played her. Like she was never my main. And so I tried to commit to playing Chun and it just didn't stick with me. And so I got really upset. I ended up when it was worth it, I ended up selling my first copy of Street Fighter 5 to a guy who no longer lives here. He bought it from me. Then when I think I ended up picking up another copy of it, I picked up, I think, a loose copy of Street Fighter 5 from the local shop because the local shop owner really tried to like he understood where I was coming from, but he really wanted me to play the game. Like he really wanted me to enjoy it. And so I gave it another shot. And then I heard Akuma was going to come out and I was super hyped because Akuma was the guy I was learning in Street Fighter 4. But Akuma just didn't resonate with me in Street Fighter 5 at all. And it sucked. Like, and then it got announced Sakura was going to come out and I was super hyped for that. So I went out of my way to buy Arcade Edition, like the Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition bundle where it came with like the first season pass or something like that. And I bought that, and then I was just like, again, it was just like one of those things. I started to play it. I tried playing her. I tried to enjoy her, and I just did it. And it was the same thing. Like I really wanted to play Jury too, and Jury I know is considered low tier, and and she wasn't the same Jury like in Street Fighter 5 in Street Fighter 4, and so like. Yeah, I tried to freaking give that game the fucking benefit of the doubt, and it just never resonated with me. It didn't resonate with me like stuff like Union has. Yeah, it sucked, sorry to hear that. It sucks when a great group disbands after so long. Yeah, we were to comment on that specific part. They had been doing stuff for about a year or 2 years before I joined. Yeah, and it was fun. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and it just sucks that everything sort of fell apart. There's a whole story to that, and I might get into that here in a minute. Only character I resonated with on launch was Rashid. Rashid's fun. He's a fucking awesome character. It just sucks that he's in a horrible game. Sakura being DLC, yeah, that was an oof. The fight money thing is what really turned me off from the game. It's funny because most of the characters in Tekken 7 are really fun to play. Like, I used to dislike Murdoch, but once I actually started using him, holy shit, is he fun to play. Tekken 7 is a game where I only play the character I know, and the only characters I know are Lily and Elisa. Not that high level people who play the other characters don't make me excited to watch high level play of other characters. It's just Lily and Elisa were the only two characters that ever really resonated with me in Tekken. So they were my go-tos. Lily's fun. I love Lily to death. Dom doesn't. But yeah, the fight money thing, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of that either. The only really saving grace for me was I wasn't playing so consistently that I was using up all my fight money. So like I had fight money to buy characters when they came out. And like I get that that's kind of a cool system to like give it, but they fucked it up so bad and changed it so much that it's like they were really trying to force you to buy the season passes, and it's like that's bullshit when the whole idea behind this system was so you didn't have to. You know, when you start forcing people to start dishing out real money, then it becomes a fucking problem. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not doing, I'm playing bad. I've been playing bad this whole stream. What the fuck am I talking about? If I was playing good, I was gonna get S ranks on everything. I feel like all the characters are fun to watch in their own way. That's how I look at it. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I agree with that. Um, it makes me excited when I can watch people play characters I'm not familiar with. Um, and that was what was really cool about the group here. You know, is everybody really strive to play different characters. Like very seldomly did people play the same characters, unless it was like obscure. If it was like an obscure anime fighter or something like that, that's when like we would run into the issue where people would be playing the same characters. But for the most part, like a lot of us played different characters, and so that was what was really cool. Is there was a pool of, if you will, diversity when it came to the characters that people played. So that way you weren't stuck just beating your head into the ground fighting the same characters over and over again. But yeah, it sucks. Like, I can try to high point. I want to say I talked about this on stream before, but maybe you weren't here. No, you know what it was? I think I discussed this in one of the calls one time. Probably in the IAS Discord. I don't think I've ever talked about this on stream. But I think I can talk about it and at least kind of high point it, if anything. So, more or less, so actually, I'm trying to talk and concentrate at the same time. It ain't working. We'll have story time with Daybreaker here in a minute. Let me try to clear this, and I can think at the same time as I talk, if that makes sense. Because sometimes when I game, like my brain kind of shuts off, like in a way where it's just like cognitive thought is not the strongest suit that I have when I'm in the middle of playing something. And it's funny because I was saying at the earlier in the stream, I was like, this is a game where I usually play to relax. And so it's like, it's funny that I'm having that issue, but I guess I'm actually like somewhat getting more invested in what I'm actually doing. Which I shouldn't be, but that's what's happening. It's Tetris. How invested can you get? Yeah, it's not like I'm shooting for beating my high score or anything like that. Like if I was doing that, I wouldn't be streaming because I would want to focus solely on the game just so I could focus on trying to be as fast and efficient as I possibly can be. Okay. Sure, go for it. I feel you. So yeah, when it comes to, and I'll try to high point it because there's a lot of shit. So what happened originally? So we were going, when I first joined, we were having our weeklies at a place here called the Unity Center. And it wasn't just us. It was the FGC scene here, and then there was a whole other side for the Smash players. Believe it or not, despite all the stereotypes and rumors, none of those guys smelt bad. They were a bit grody, but most of them were really cool dudes. Like, I won't front. One of them, his name was Junior. That dude was fucking killer. Like, I loved seeing that dude. I loved talking to that dude. He was a really cool dude. The guy who ran the Smash community here, he's a freaking... He's out there, but he's a really cool dude. Anyway, so we were all going there. Everything was fine. Well, the venue host wanted us to start doing tournaments. And he thought in his head, because the tournament, the venue host only ever wanted us for money. He offered his space and stuff, but he wanted us to make him rich, was the thing. The problem with that is that, fighting games as a whole are a very niche thing, especially here. I live in a city where there's only approximately 50,000 people. So, and the youth here are not interested in fighting games. They're interested in like stuff like COD. So everything was going fine until we started doing tournaments, and with most of our tournaments we didn't draw numbers. Um so there was this whole incident where I think it ended up how the cut was, there was a general admission, and then there was a fee for every tournament you wanted to enter. So the cut was like, um I think it was 150 to the tournament organizer, which was my friend Xanthan at the time. 150 to the tournament organizer, 150 to the venue host, and then the other $2 would go to the pot for the entries, because that's the whole reason we were wanting to do tournaments, is to give something back to people. But we didn't have big turnouts. I think our best turnout was a Street Fighter V tournament where we actually had people from out of town come to participate. And I think we had maybe like 9 people, if anything. So this didn't sit well with the first venue host. Things kind of went fucking south. He accused Xanthan of cheating him out of money. Um, he, I guess, went on this fucking tirade when we all packed up and left that day, that we're all pieces of shit and that we don't make him money and blah, 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 blah. And so the Smash community leader, being present for that, called a meeting with me, Xanthan, and at the time, the guy named Atsu. Atsu was also the guy who, like, Xanthan and Atsu both ran it, conjoined. They were conjoined leadership, and so they were the ones who ran the events. Um, I went just for moral support, just because I was kind of wanting to know what was going on, and plus I think I gave Xanthan a ride because he didn't have his car at the time. Um, so leader of the Smash community was like, "This dude's a dickhead. We need to go." I found the spot. I've already been talking with him. The guy at the card shop is willing to hook us up. So that's what happened. We had one final night at the Unity. We packed up our shit and we left. And we didn't come back to the Unity. So we went to a card shop that is now closed. That was called Paradise, and it's like pair of dice, like rolling dice. Play on words, because they weren't just a card shop; they also sold like board games and tabletop stuff and everything like that. And we started going there, and again, things were fine for a while. We didn't have as much time because at the Unity we were able to stay till like midnight. Here we were only able to stay till like 9 or 10, something like that. Or I think it was 10, but we had to be wrapping up by 9, something like that. But things were fine at first. Like things were fine, but it was almost kind of the same thing where the venue host who ran the place started hating the fact that we weren't making him money. We weren't making him profit. There were a couple of us who would buy food from him, but we weren't buying really anything else. We weren't buying cards. We weren't buying tabletop books. We weren't buying board games, all that shit. I had asked him one time about ordering me some books. That never happened. I talked to him about Warhammer stuff, that I wanted to really like started to get into Warhammer. I never did. So it was just kind of one thing after another. Well, his most profitable community was the Magic the Gathering community. They were all going to his store, and it was like a guaranteed fact that any time of the day, any day of the week, that if you go, there were at least 2 to 3 of them there playing Magic. Crazy shit, I know. Don't know how these people lived and functioned and everything like that, but that's where they were a lot of the time. Um, so um, he had a falling out with the Magic the Gathering community basically shot himself in the foot, got into a huge freaking fight with them, and basically said that they don't pay his bills. And so what did they do? They pieced out. They just straight up took off. They were like, fuck it. We're not going to deal with your stupid shit anymore. And they packed up their shit and left. And we weren't too far behind because at that point, the venue was like, I'm not making money to keep the lights on. This place is going to fucking be going under. So we packed up our shit and left. So we started doing our weeklies at Atsu and Xanthan's place. And it was fine for a while. Again, it was fine for a while, but Xanthan was starting to notice that shit of his was going missing. We're convinced that some of the Smash players stole the GameCube controller I gave him, as well as one or two different Wiimotes. There was another thing in there that I think I gave Xanthan that went missing. But it was also food that was going missing. And Xanthan, of course, couldn't provide meals for everybody or anything like that. You know, he was living on a very tight income. And so it was like the food that he had was the food that he had to make last until his next paycheck. Well, we talked to the Smash community leader about talking with the guys, and none of them would fess up. Like, absolutely none of them would confess that that was the case. They were doing other shit. They were making like tinfoil blunts and leaving them and just trashing the place. They wouldn't clean up after themselves. This was like a newer group of guys, by the way. A lot of the original community members for the Smash community here, they all took off to go to college because they were all teenagers. They had nothing else better to do, but they all took off to go to college. So it was like a new group of guys, and none of them were ever really that friendly or that engaging to be around. But yeah, they would just leave the house mess, and Xanthan never had time to really take care of that. So we basically kind of shot ourselves in the foot because we pretty much segregated the Smash community from us. We accused them of something that we didn't really have 100% concrete proof that was the case, that was what was going on. And so because of that, our attendance started dropping. It ended up being like I would consistently come, and then it would be like a few others, and then it eventually got to the point because more or less when Xanthan took the initiative to say that the Smash guys were stealing shit, everybody else in the community viewed him as like being a tyrant. And he was just like, oh, he just wants control. He wants to be a dictator, blah, blah, blah. And so it just all fell apart after that. And slowly but surely, Xanthan got sick of it. I got sick of it. And it was just, yeah, it was one thing after another. And we just eventually just stopped doing it. And so, yeah, it sucks. I would have loved to have the community continue being a thing. I think they tried without me and Xanthan because I took Xanthan's side on a lot of shit. I did. Because he's my friend and I consider him a brother, and he's probably the best damn friend I've ever had. You know, so it's really hard for me to look the other way when it came to his grievances. And so yeah, it just kind of became one thing after another, and yeah, we were trying to set up something here again, but that fell through. I don't know if they're doing weeklies anymore. I know that Atsu took off and tried to start it back up at the Unity Center. I don't know if that's still going on. I personally don't care. So yeah, that's the story of the FGC scene here. Um, so yeah, fun times to be had by all, and it does. And yeah, it sucks that you know we had to deal with some shit people, and we had to, you know, basically it was like, you know, that we're just supposed to let shitty things happen constantly and turn the other cheek for the sake of having a good community. And I that's not how something like that should work. I don't believe that that's a healthy mentality or a healthy mindset to have at all. So story time, story time with Daybreaker officially concluded. It's really good. A lot of the time too, I can talk and discuss stories while doing other things. But when I get really invested in a story, and by the way, that was as high pointed as I could make it. There's kind of key details I had to get in there just to kind of solidify the whole point of the story. Um, there was a lot more shit that happened, especially I can recount shit that happened with me and another individual in the scene. Um, that's a story for fuck another day because I hate talking about that guy. To be perfectly honest, I hate acknowledging that he exists. I'm pretty sure he's the same. He feels the feelings probably mutual there. To be perfectly honest, but you know, that's totally fine. I can at least say that I'm not a fucking deadbeat and I'm actually trying to, you know, do something with my fucking life instead of just, you know, staying here and working dead end jobs and then not working and then thinking that I'm gonna make a streaming career. You know, like I'm actually going to school for a degree to try to get the ever living hell out of where I live and try to do something with my life and do something meaningful to me, you know, and something that's not fucking working dead end jobs. Which hopefully I never have to do ever again. So. Or if I do, it'll be because, you know, that's what I have to do. But for the moment, I'm trying to just focus on my studies, get my degree, albeit slowly. I probably will try to pick up the pace, especially after I get my associates. I'm probably gonna really try to strive to try to get my bachelor's quicker than probably what I'm gonna take doing my associates, but that is to be wait and seen if that pans out, because I kind of have trouble with classes as it is. Basically, they used me for money so we could get pizza, and if I didn't pay up, I would get kicked. Then the original member left to which one of the members kicked me, even though I paid up. It was our high school sci-fi club or anime club. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure I talked about the I have more stories to tell. This should be how I fucking do things. This should be my streaming. It's just story time about my life. Not that it's the most interesting, but I do have stories to tell because that just reminds me. I personally I never had to deal with that with the anime club at my high school. Thank fucking god. No, I was briefly a part of the anime club my freshman year. That sounds about right. I think it was my freshman year. I tried to be part of the anime club. I was super convinced. I had a bunch of people telling me that they were going to give me their support, that I was going to run it, and that I was going to be the president of it. Turns out they all stabbed me in the back. They voted for the other guy who, ironically, I'm friends with now for the most part. I mean, we're acquaintances now. We were more friendly with each other when he was actually living here. But he's gone on to do better things with his life than waste away at the jobs here. So, yeah, it pissed me off. I backed away from the anime club. I did not come back. My senior year, I thought because it's my last year of high school and I'm on my way out, you know, the guy who actually allowed the anime club to be a thing was the art teacher, and I had been taking art ever since I got into high school. I took it all 4 years, and so I grew a friendship with the teacher. Like I considered him a friend. I did, and I was convinced. I was convinced he would be fine with me running the anime club my senior year. And I kind of wish he would have let me because I probably would have stayed had he let me. I dropped out halfway through my senior year. I went and got my GED because the stress got to me. But so in a last-ditch effort to basically make myself happy, I asked him if I could run the anime club. And he basically told me that a freshman had already approached him about it and that she was going to run it. And I got pissed. reasonably, because I'm like, I have seniority over her. Like, this is my last year here. I don't get another year to run this shit. Like, and basically all I wanted was our anime club to be a place where kids could come after school, hang out, talk about anime, watch anime, and just chill. That's all I wanted. I wanted just a community where we could come together and talk about something that we all enjoyed. Um, so I talked to the freshman chick who was a gigantic fucking weeb who wore a Naruto headband every day to school. Um, I asked her and I said, "Look, I heard you're running this. I've been here for 4 years. This is my last year here. I wanted to run it, but apparently, my teacher doesn't see it that way. So, look, this is what I want. This is how I think it should be run. Why not let's do it this way?" Oh no, she said. We can't run it like that. That wouldn't be fun. We need to teach people how to read Japanese and learn Japanese, and we're going to do origami and interpretive dancing, and we're probably going to fuck each other later. It was just all of this nonsense that she wanted to add to the fucking club. That I was just like, all right, I'm out. Fuck you. Uh, you know, you do you, bitch. Um, you do you, and have all your fucking weeb friends who wear Naruto headbands to school do Naruto runs into a fucking crater. So I just said fuck it. um, I got thrown under the bus a lot. Personally, some people have serious mental issues or probably deals with a lot worse. I think I remember this well. That's stupid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before because I'm pretty sure I've talked about it in the freaking calls before. But yeah, it's just freaking. Oh man. No, thankfully I never had to deal with any sort of thing where like I was threatened with being kicked out of a group for shit, you know. Thankfully. But I feel you if that actually having to deal with that fucking sucks, you know. Um I've kind of learned in recent years, especially now that I've matured as much as I have, uh, you know, people who are shitty to you and you kind of cave to do the things just for like the companionship. Because I won't lie, I was in this same fucking boat. I had some questionable friends in high school, who only in very recently did I realize were actually gigantic pieces of shit. You know, um, so it's like it's just that it sucks because I very much wanted the human experience. I wanted to be social. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to experience high school like a normal kid, even though I was not normal by any means. So it sucks when you fall victim to that kind of shit where like you feel that the only way to keep people liking you is by caving to their demands, and it sucks. I've been there, and it's awful. You know, a friend I've had for many years is no longer a friend because of that reason. Because I feel that the entirety of our friendship was based on the fact that he wanted to be in control of absolutely fucking everything we did, and so I feel that. Also, I just saw it pop up. I'll look that over. Auto moderator, man. I need to. I wish I could have somebody who comes in and moderates properly, so I don't have to always do that. But I'm not popular enough to have my own moderator yet. So, yeah, it's all right. I'll allow it. It's fine. Why is fucking not permitted? Oh my god. Um, um, in fact, I knew one kid who hated anime, yet he kept showing up to the club. All he did was play Arma on his PC and talk about himself. He wanted me kicked out of the club because I said Breaking Bad isn't a good show, even though this guy constantly bags on me all the fucking time I came to school. Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, and that was kind of the thing, you know. I and it was kind of the funniest thing. I actually fell out of grace with some of the people who said that they would support me in my endeavor to run the anime club. Um, and that didn't. They didn't vote for me. They voted for their little freaking cocksucker friend. Um, they tried to apologize to me, and I said no. I was like, no, you led me to believe you were gonna vote for me in the voting, and you stabbed me in the back, and I feel betrayed. Why would I trust you with anything at this point? And I didn't talk to those people anymore. They just would never talk to me after that point, and I was like, good, get the fuck out of my life and stay out of my life, you know. I had a person block me on Facebook. Like I am not. The thing is that I never check to see if people have blocked or removed me on Facebook, but I had a person block me on Facebook, and I don't even remember why the fuck I was on this person's. To be honest, I don't remember why I had communications with this individual. I think maybe I bought something from them or something, maybe like through Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and I think they thought that that was a reason to want to be friends with me. I don't know. I had a person block me because for some reason they asked me if it was gay if they watched porn together with their friends. And I really couldn't answer that because, honest to God, I don't have an answer for that. You know, I think something being gay, if you will, you know, is kind of subjective when it comes to stuff like that. You know, if you're fine looking at other people's dicks or whatever to watch porn, then by all means. I wouldn't feel comfortable watching porn around other people. Maybe my significant other, but not, you know, not a friend, unless I was just watching it as like a joke. Like if I knew, because I actually, believe it or not, I have a softcore porn DVD. It's the stupidest fucking thing. It's an Asian porn. It is the stupidest fucking thing you'll ever watch. And I actually did. I haven't watched this DVD with my friends, but I've tried to tell them that they won't regret it if they watch it with me. It's not gonna freaking turn you on. You're not gonna start jerking off in front of me. It's fine. It's just a good laugh because it's so asinine. But that's the thing about Japanese porn. Most of it is. But I remember my buddy Andrew. He had access to like HBO and Showtime and shit, you know, like the stuff where they show porn on late at night. And I was sleeping over at his house, and this was back in high school. I was spending the night over at his place, and we were like bored out of our minds. So much so we were literally skimming through the channels to find something to watch. And we ran across a softcore porn called The Ghost of the Teeny Bikini. And it was the most asinine thing. We became invested in watching the whole thing. Sex was bad. The acting was bad. The whole thing was fucking bad. But it was campy enough to where we were like, this is actually fucking funny. So we watched it. That's the only time I've ever watched porn with a friend. It was freaking funny. I just found his picture. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That thing on Facebook, to this day, I still don't know why that was a thing. Like, I really don't remember why this individual was on my Facebook to begin with. Like, I'm stumped half the time. Like, I try to remember. The only thing I could think is that I accepted somebody's like random friend request, because I kind of did that in the early days. I am a lot better about that now. But yeah, like I don't know. He blocked me because I wouldn't tell him if asking if watching porn with his friends was gay or not. You tell me why that's worth a block, but I don't fucking know. That is the only person I know who has actually blocked me, aside from... No, my ex, I think her Facebook account got banned because she made, like, she was under a false name, I believe. And they wanted her to verify her actual, like, they wanted actual proof of that being who she was. And so they were just like, yeah, you don't have access to your account anymore, basically. She wasn't on Facebook for very long anyway. But she's blocked me on several other platforms. Like, she has me blocked on Steam. She's gone and made another YouTube account. Because the two that I know about don't have me blocked. She blocked me, I believe, on all messengers. She blocked me on Discord, apparently, or somehow had a Discord and I didn't know about it and was like, well, I was never going to tell him, or some bullshit. I don't know. She's a fucking nutcase. Like, I wanted her Discord to fucking begin with. Like, I wanted her knowing my Discord. Fuck that. Yeah, because the last thing I want is her fucking going around and fucking talking shit and trying to, like, get freaking people on her side. Like, going and freaking bugging Rein with stupid shit or something. You know. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent, wasn't it? But yeah, as far as I know, like, active people who have actively gone out of the way to block me, those are the only two that come to mind. Some random dude who I can't even remember why he was on my Facebook, and then, you know, my ex for, you know, various stupid reasons of hers. I wonder what overall... I haven't, like, backed out in a bit. Basically, he has a mohawk with the side shave off completely. He looked like a reject Sims character. That's fucking... I like that. I like that reject Sims character. One guy blocked me for requesting to follow him on Instagram. I think I know the person, or at least heard of them. Yeah, I've had people unfollow me on Twitter. Like, I think it's like one of those things, follow for follow a lot of the times. I've had people unfollow me on Twitter just randomly, and I don't really know why. But I kind of don't let it bug me, because it's like, well, if you made no effort to communicate with me anyway, and you just unfollowed me for whatever fucking reason, that's like, it's whatever. It's whatever. I did have people, I think, block me on DeviantArt too. Or, like, yeah, just stupid shit. I just learned to stop caring is the thing. If people block me for various reasons, then they probably weren't worth my time to begin with. God, I wish I could do other modes and get more points. Where am I on the rankings right now? I'm number 77? Really? Really? Oh, that's not even updated. I would technically be up in the 50s or past the 60s. Yeah, people don't play this freaking mode. Like, every week they do a weekly ritual, and they change it depending on the... So, like, right now it's the Adventurous type of game modes. And then, of course, you've got your classic game modes, your relaxed game modes, focus, and focus. And most people will play relax because it's super easy to build points, because all you do is play quick play for like 3 hours. You know, because quick play is really cool, because like quick play, it's just you pick any stage that you want to play, and you just have to clear 30 lines. That's all you have to do. And so it's really, really easy to get an SS rank, because you just have to hit 10,000 points. And so yeah, super easy to get the overall goal for the week. When you do the relax modes. Oddly enough, I ran into an ex-member who apparently has a new account. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing. Like when you talk about that, I aside from like the people who were part of like the I'm gonna try this again. I know I'm gonna be fucking goddamn terrible at it, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Let's do one that's not overly obnoxious with the blocks. Just for shiggles, we're gonna do classic. Um, the people from like the fighting game scene here, I still talk with a couple of them. I run into them every now and then. But when it comes to like people from like high school and shit, like I hard pressed to find anybody from the old anime clubs and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't really run into those people. But then again, I'm not a very like I don't go out very much. Like, that one's gonna blow up. Fuck. Yeah. What the fuck? Gravity. How the hell is that doing that? That's annoying. Defying all rules of gravity in Tetris. Blocks should drop, not be stuck. I hate this mode. You missed it earlier. I hate this mode with a fucking passion. I don't know why I started playing it again. I guess I'm just a masochist apparently. Because I like the pain. Because this mode's bullshit. And if you haven't noticed yet, you will eventually learn why this mode's bullshit. Oh, hello. Thank you for all the same type of block. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate you. No ghost isn't too bad. I can deal with that. It's every goddamn thing else I can't deal with. Okay. Basically, he left the group over someone not liking his taste in women. Then got into an argument on Twitter with Rein, to which the latter called him on his BS and said person blocked everyone in the last and deleted his Twitter. He then came back and got into some drama with DMC community, to which he deleted his account again. Not getting into details. That's totally fine, but sounds like a interesting chap, if I do say so myself. You gotta love the people who go and start drama for no fucking reason other than to start drama, because they feel like, they're probably people who freaking feel like no one gives a shit about them, and so they just have to go validate their own existence by going and throwing some stupid hot take into the mix or something. I know, it's funny. Me and James have kind of talked about it, and then he's impressed that I don't let people get to me as much with some of their shit, and I'm like, it's because it ain't worth it, man. It's not worth my sanity to go freaking deal with stupid people. I absolutely hate this. This drives me. If you haven't noticed, I'm playing upside down, which it's not as easy as it looks. I'm probably making it look a lot easier than it actually is, but my brain gets so jumbled trying to play like that. Ugh. Not the greatest feeling in the world. Oh, Andre, by the way, you watching fucking Clash of Champions tomorrow? Dumpster fire that is WWE. gonna be good. Gonna be a good night, I think, tomorrow. Some of my buds are gonna come over. We're gonna order pizza, and we're just gonna have a good fucking time, laughing at stupid shit. Oh, probably not. Oh yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, I don't watch the live shows at all. Like, I only ever watch pay-per-views, so. Why you do this to me, game? What have I ever done to deserve having to play this game upside down? Consistently. The day I become a boss at that is gonna be the day that I am officially a Tetris fucking god. And that I will take the moniker of a Tetris god. Oh yeah, and said person canceled his Spider-Man pre-order because he thought an SJW did Black Cat's phase. Oh yeah, bonus rally. Oh, you know what? That's how I got the frickin'... That's how I got my score. Oh, fuck you and your frickin'... That's what fucked me up the last time I did this. They frickin' stacked me. I was so up. I was too up. I was too high up on the screen, and it was a bump up. And yeah, the bump up fucked me up, so I couldn't place blocks. No hold, no prob. That's how original Tetris was. I can still do. I'm gonna fucking beat this, I swear to God. I hate this mode, but I'm gonna fucking have it happen. It's not gonna get me. There we go. Oh, another bump up? Like, what the hell? Freaking RNG gods are not being freaking nice to me. He bought SNK heroines at full price, then ended up buying the collector's edition of Spider-Man. Outrage culture is a joke. Yep, so is boycott culture. Boycott culture is fucking bullshit, too. I didn't even buy SNK heroines at fucking full price. Holy shit. You've been hearing, not a lot of people talking about it. Niche Gamer hasn't talked about it either, so I'm wondering how valid the shit is, but I don't know if you've, the company who, is behind, Code of Princess, they recently did that fighting game Blade Strangers. I don't know if you're familiar with any of their work, but, Kotaku wrote some fucking article about them being like the president or the CEO or something being like a fucking racist or something. And so like I was talking about that earlier. I was like, I can't wait for the day that I actually hit a oh, this is bad. This is bad, real bad. This is not going to end well. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm not guaranteeing a fucking thing. Oh, fuck me. Why do they keep giving me that? Why you make my blocks all small? And all fucking wacky? No, that's... Nope. I'm fucked. Yeah. On better things, FF7R is looking great. Oh, hell yes it is. Hell yes it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was super awesome. Like, I actually didn't know that this stage was a thing. Because you have to get to level 50 to unlock it. And so I actually found out because I was looking something up, and it just happened to come up. Like, I kind of spoiled myself on it, but still pretty cool. But yeah, that mode's bullshit. I don't know why people play it, and if anybody... I'd love to know what the ranking for fucking... Yeah, mystery. What's the highest score? 9 minutes, almost 10. Score of 1,000,000 on regular. I like how the top 6 players in the world for that mode are Japanese players. Because of fucking course it is. Japanese people too good. Too good at video games. Where the hell am I? I'm curious. I'm ranked 5,868. Fucking garbage. Garbage at it. Oh, man. Yeah, I am too. Granted, I need to play through the series. I still need to get Yakuza 6. And I need to get Kiwami 2. And then, of course, I'll just have to wait until the remaster collection comes out in February, and then I'll have all the other ones. So, yeah, I think Yakuza 6 will be good. Oh, hey! Levy's lower than me. I don't think he plays very often. He was playing there consistently for a minute, I remember. But, yeah, I don't think he's played in a while. Wouldn't surprise me. That's totally fine. Tetris, like I said, Tetris is not everybody's cup of tea, and it's something that I typically just play to relax and chill out. Ichiban's hilarious. Yeah. Damn it. I tried. So, I brought it up briefly earlier on in the stream, but been watching any specific animes, man? I actually am 4 episodes away from finishing the original Mobile Suit Gundam. I was pretty damn close, but I was telling Xanthan, because I just recently got us torrents of Zoid's Chaotic Century, and then the other Zoids, which I think is considered New Future Century. Yeah, so I got us those, and I told them that I wanted to finish the other stuff I had started. So I'm going to finish Mobile Suit, and then I'm going to start watching the rest of Outlaw Star, and hopefully finish Outlaw Star, and then I'm going to start watching Zoids. I'll probably start with Chaotic Century, because that's the one that I liked more. But yeah, I'm gonna start cranking stuff out. I need to start getting through some of my freaking box sets. But nice, Yu Yu Hakusho, man. I finally got the 4th season of that, so I have the entire series on DVD. I just need to sit and commit and watch the rest of it, because I haven't watched all the way to the end. Oh, dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah, it was super funny. There was like a post on Twitter. It was like something like, describe yourself with 4 pictures of different characters, no context. And one of the characters I chose for mine was Kuwabara, because I relate to Kuwabara a lot. I think Kuwabara was me in many aspects. But yeah, I need to definitely. He is, but that was kind of how I was when I was younger, when I was in high school and stuff. I was not the I was not the Yusuke of our group. I could definitely say that. I think that honor goes to like my buddy Andrew. I was more the Kuwabara. I was the faithful sidekick. And I'm not saying that to like downplay myself or anything. That's just how I was in high school. I didn't want to be freaking head honcho of anything except the anime club, and that didn't pan out. So I just stopped trying. At that point, I was like, yeah, nah. I just want to hang out with people and just be happy. So I don't need to have leadership over anything. I am doing absolutely awful at this. mistakes were made, very much so. Mistakes were very much made. Mistakes have been thoroughly made. God, this mode's a pain in the ass. I still prefer it to mystery, at least. Well, that works. Now I just... No! I blocked my freaking drop in the blocks. Of all the for me, my social skills back then weren't the greatest. Back then, truth be told, one of my friends wanted to be like Sasuke. He conducted a revenge scheme to beat up some kid for stealing Yu-Gi-Oh cards from him. Oh, dude. Funny story about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, too, that I have. My Yu-Gi-Oh cards got stolen from a guy who later ended up at my high school and tried to be my friend. It was the funniest shit. It's the funniest shit. I don't care now. It was stupid of me to take that kind of shit to school anyway, especially when it was basically notorious for that kind of shit, that my shit would like shit would get stolen. And it was just it was shitty, and shit got stolen out of my backpack all the time. Like a couple times my deodorant got stolen for gym. And it's like, why the fuck would you steal a person's deodorant? Like, yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb. But I never had anybody try to do anything like that. I'm gonna try to do this mode again. Never had people try to like conduct schemes or anything like that, or like had like get even plans, sort of, you know. But then again, you know, the company that I kept was very specific, so it was like there might have been people like that at my school. I'm not really 100% sure, to be perfectly honest. If there were, I probably more or less stayed away from them. There was only one guy in our group that I never got along with because I thought he was fucking annoying as shit. And it was kind of funny too, because he asked me one day if I liked him, and I just straight up told him, I was like, nope, I don't like you, so deal with that. Yeah, it's kind of fucking crazy. I didn't like this dude because like he was one, to me he was a tryhard. Like he was trying way too hard to be like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm the cool kid with the inside scoop on shit. Like, he talked about, like, one time he talked about, like, you know, oh, who's gonna go to the rave tonight? And I'm like, motherfucker, there, raves? Are you fucking kidding me? That shit don't happen here. Not at all. Not at all. I've lived here long enough. Like, there ain't no way in hell that there are people freaking doing raves here where I live. And I was like, and if they were, you wouldn't fucking know about it, because he was like, the funny thing is that he wasn't even from here. He had like moved from another city, and I was just like, how the fuck would you, in the short amount of time you've been here, established and figure out where people have raves, and why in high school are you going to raves? Like, I don't know, to each their own, but still, like, that wasn't my first thought of like what I wanted to do in high school. I just wanted to have high school experience, and I kind of fucked myself out of all of that, so... Didn't go to prom, ever. Didn't go to homecoming dance, ever. Because my ex was a fucking cunt. So... And, I kind of blame her for that, because she kind of gypped me of that shit, too. I did sort of jip myself out of some of the experience, because I mean, I did drop out, so, you know, certain aspects of it, I don't fully hold other people accountable for some shit, but it's like, some of the aspects of my high schooling, I kind of did to myself. Like, I could have made more of a conscious effort to try to go to some of that stuff, like prom and homecoming, even if it wasn't with my girlfriend. But I had this really weird fucking shit about being loyal and all that shit. Actually, a friend I used to be friends with until I unfriended him on Facebook several days back wanted to steal some guy's underwear for talking to a girl he liked. Keep in mind he told me this when he was hanging out with me at the ball. Why would you steal somebody's underwear? Like, unless that to me was like more of like a rite of passage, like stealing a girl's underwear. Like, not in my group. I know that people have done that, but not in my group. But it's just weird. Like, that's, I'm gonna steal this fucker's underwear. Get back at him. I'm so tough. It's gonna be the funniest shit. It's like, dude, do you realize some guys go commando? Like, some girls go commando. Like, there are some people who just don't fucking wear underwear. Like, wouldn't that have been the most awkward fucking thing in the world? That dude rips down that dude's pants and that dude ain't wearing underwear. Oh, that would have been great. He actually told me this. I asked him if he would do that to the girl he liked too, which he said yes, because she's his girlfriend. English isn't his first language. He looked like Short Round from the Indiana Jones movies. Also, by the way, how's it going, Joso? Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, you came in at an awkward time, man. Oh, he's Japanese. Okay. Okay. But still, that's like, okay, steal the girl's underwear, but why the guy? I'm still lost on that. Why the fuck would you steal another dude's underwear? Unless that was just like a kink. Like, I get it if that's like a kinky thing, but like, that's fucking weird. Like, we didn't need to, like, okay, other thing about high school. We didn't need to steal girls' underwear because they were happy to let us see it. There were certain girls in our classes that there were certain girls in our classes that used to wear these like really like lacy thongs and shit that would always be sticking out of their underwear, or they'd wear shirts that are too short so they'd lean, and of course they're sitting down so their underwear is sticking out. Like, we didn't need to steal. It was all in front view. That's why half the time me and Andrew sat behind these chicks. Oh man. Oh. I was pretty dirty back in high school. It happens. Like, I won't, it wasn't like I was the cleanliest person in high school either, freaking would sneak a peek if I could. It wasn't like this like stout person, but like when it came to like, stuff with my girlfriend, of course I was like a loyal person. I was loyal to an extent, and it just, it was one of those things where it was like, I kind of wish I hadn't been, like, as horrible as that is to say, but I had this weird fucking moral complex about shit. So yeah, reminds me of that asshole I used to be friends with last year that Rein knows. You'll have to like DM me who you're talking about, Jozo. Like, I flipped up some girl's skirt while waiting for my ride home. I didn't get in trouble. Some of the girls were attractive. Some of mine were too. The problem is I'm a realist, and I've always been that way. And I knew that the majority of the girls that were pretty were jocks or preps. They were on the cheerleading squad, or they were, fucking one of the football players. Like, it was just better to be content with just being secretly perverted than being like, hey, I want to get with this chick only to freaking be heartbroken that, that this chick wasn't, that this chick, wasn't into me. Oh yeah, me neither. Dude, I'm so against, I try to keep my human contact with other people to a minimum. It's like, I'll hang out with friends, I'll hang out with family, but when I'm out and about on my own, I keep to my fucking self. Like, I'm not looking at people. Like, speaking of, And this is exactly why. And this is exactly why I try to avert my gaze on anything that happens around me. I don't know if I brought this up on stream, but one of the recent times I happened to want to go to Goodwill because that's one of the things I do. I like to thrift. Um, I'm walking up to Goodwill. This kid, he must have been three, maybe 2 or 3 years old, comes flying out of the exit. Comes flying out of the exit, stops at the curb, and just drops his drawers and starts peeing on the fucking sidewalk. And like, I was walking up, all this was happening, so I was like, I saw what was happening and I was dumbfounded. Like, dumbfounded to the point, like, of course, I was trying to, like, I knew it was happening, so in my periph, I knew he was there. Like, so I was actively making sure I was, like, walking away, you know, like, walking so I wasn't, like, getting in his shit or anything like that. But I was trying to make sure I wasn't paying attention to him because, you know, my first thought was, how ridiculous is that? Like, it doesn't matter if you're his grandparents or whatever, because I think he was with his grandparents. That type of behavior is not only inappropriate, but it's damaging. And it could be very dangerous too. Because what if there is a predator hanging around and he catches wind of that? And the first thing he starts doing is taking pictures. You know, that's the kind of shit I think about. That's why I'm fucking terrified to have a child. You know? So it was just kind of that, you know, and oh, okay, Joseph. Thank you, by the way, for telling me. um, yeah, it was just like, so that's why I try to keep my eyes fixated on what I'm doing and just keep them forward and never really pay other people to mind. Um, Sometimes I'll see attractive girls and I'll notice and I'll be like, she looks pretty, but I just don't make it really a thing. It wasn't a thing like it was in high school. Um, but yeah, and I want to say, I don't want to blame him for it, but I think a lot of that was because I was friends with my buddy Andrew. He was a bit more open about his wants and desires than I was. He basically told me that it was his mission to basically fuck any chick that he wanted to fuck in high school, and he did a fairly good job at that, I think. To his credit, he got a lot of pussy. I'm not gonna lie. He fucking did. I'm sorry, you wrote that. It was like as soon as I started. There was a really nice chick I met at a con who was really curvy. Like she had an hourglass figure, and I had to resist the urge to stare at her chest. I can't fucking... Yeah. That was my first con experience. Was ogling the cosplayers. Because why not? I mean, some girls don't really make they don't make a conscious effort to like kind of like be more modest, you know? Some girls don't, and others do. To each their own. Doesn't matter either way. You do you. You do what makes you feel comfortable. You wear what makes you feel comfortable. But forgive me if I look. But I don't do the con thing really anymore. Yeah, I'm not big into the whole con thing anymore, and especially after the whole thing with Vic, like industry's full of shitty people, and I don't feel like giving this industry my money, so I don't buy a lot of my anime secondhand. And I might get to importing if I can, if that were to circumvent it, but yeah. Everybody at Funimation are dicks, everybody at Rooster Teeth are dicks. there's a lot of people who are dicks. A lot more so than I thought. So, just kind of like, this shit's not for me anymore, fam. Yeah. And then there's on top of that, really and truly a lot of the shit that even happens here isn't beneficial for the market in Japan and doesn't really help. And shit like Crunchyroll and Netflix are more, are not being beneficial, and they're more damaging than they are beneficial. And so it's just a bunch of shit. And I'm like, mm-mm. Not only that, like, I've kind of had this issue too, and maybe it's just the concerts that I've gone to, but, when you go to cons, like, the first con I went to, I threw on my hollow Ichigo mask, my visored mask. I had my Bleach jacket on. I have a hoodie that's got the Bleach characters on it. It's beat the ever living shit. Still wore it anyway. I had like a hollow necklace, and I think I rolled around with the katana I own. It's blunt. It's not sharp. I had to have it sealed anyway though. Bought it from a thrift store for like $40. And I had people bug me then. Like, they would bug me at inopportune times too. They would like want to do pictures with me, but I was like in the middle of a panel and like focused on what was going on in the panel. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you bugging me? And so it kind of just became a thing that I realized, like, a lot of people don't really communicate with each other at these things. Like, they're there with their friends or people that they know, and they kind of just stick with their own group. They don't really go out with like go out's the wrong term, but they don't really communicate with others outside of their group, at least what I've noticed. And so I've noticed that with a lot of the concerts I've gone to too. Like, you can't really talk to people. Like the last concert me and my dad went to, we were in line and we were trying to talk with the people in front of us, and they were just kind of blowing us off. And so it was kind of like that thing where I was just like, the fuck is these people's problems? We're all here for the same thing, for the enjoyment of what we're about to go and watch. Like, why is there no, like, why can't we talk to each other? Why is there just like minimal conversation at best? I don't know. So like, I just, between all the industry bullshit and just kind of that, like, I just don't feel it's a friendly environment. And it's just like, why would I go and waste my time? Is sort of a thing. Okay. Like if they like showing off their body in cosplay, then it's not a huge deal. Of course not. Of course not. Every person who cosplays is entitled to show however much skin or however little skin they want. Like, to each their own. I don't know how Tanner and them do it with them going to cons. I don't know either. I kind of stopped asking. Don't blame me, man. Rooster Teeth sucks, in my opinion. Is Rooster Teeth associated with is Ruby associated with Rooster Teeth? Yes, and that's why I no longer watch or support that show. I used to like Yang's voice actress until she tried to defend the show's poor writing. Because I've had constant people asking me to watch Ruby, and I didn't like how I was being pressured to watch an anime I know very little about, other than their creator passing away a few years ago, and that's it. It's not worth it, to be honest, at Jozo. I tried really hard to like Ruby, I really did. I dropped the show about 3 times. At least I have Ruby muted on Twitter. I gave it a fair watch up to season 3. Oh, you tapped out earlier than I did. I watched up to the beginning of season 5, and this character they had built up for like the past 2 seasons died in the 2nd episode of the 5th season, was killed off. I was so fucking pissed that they did that this character was supposed to be like this big badass because they're the leader of this fucking radical extremist organization. You would think that they would be super powerful, super strong, and they wouldn't die like a bitch. And they died like a bitch. Exactly like how Yamamoto dies in fucking Bleach. It was a dude betrays her in her ranks, stabs her in the back, and she's dead. And I was so mad that happened. I was like, I'm done. I'm done watching this fucking garbage. Like, how do you build this character and only hint at this character, You hint at this character. You don't even show who this character looks like. You have no connotation up until that is the only episode that she had screen time. So this entire time, you have no freaking clue who this character is. You have no preconceived notion other than that they're this powerful leader of this organization, and they just die in the first 2 minutes that they're on screen. They're just dead. They're gone. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking joking. Like, couldn't you at least have done some sort of epic battle where this character puts up a fight and just doesn't die? Like, I was so goddamn mad. Yeah, God, that's one thing I really dislike too, is that most of the characters are fucking insufferable, especially the enemies. Like, it's not even enemies that you actively enjoy, like, their screen presence. Like, you know who I enjoy on screen presence? Campy ass fucking villain characters like Skeletor. Like, those are the kind of, like, I don't want these, like, super serious, like, no fun allowed fucking characters. Like, that's why I think Roman Torchwick, the character, the first villain in the series, was a cool character because he was like a Joker-esque sort of character. He was maniacal in the way, but he was also like, he just had that presence, and he's like, it's so much more. It was so much more of a he was just so much more of an enjoyable character because his motivations were just that. It was kind of a more campy sort of character. And I honestly think that would have been better if the other characters were like that. But no, we have to make the one bitch insufferable. She's insufferable every time she's on fucking screen. And then we make her a fucking god because reasons. Because why the fuck not? We're gonna make her a fucking Jesus character. Because how else are the freaking heroes gonna triumph unless the fucking villain isn't stupid overpowered? You know? Like, have nobody read comics like Batman? Like, I don't know, I can't speak on modern Batman, but when you think of Batman, none of his freaking villains are like so insanely overpowered that Batman can't beat them. Or, like, Batman can even theoretically beat Superman. Somewhat. Theoretically. I'll put theoretically there. So it's like, why can't you make these villains more likable? Like, why can't you give them more character than, oh, I'm evil, oh, I'm a mope, because I'll never be accepted by the evil mega cunt that's the leader of our organization. And then the other bitch is like, oh, I'll never be accepted because this... Just like, God, make better villains, please! For the love of God! Like, just make me enjoy every time these villains are on screen. Why can't freaking Batman do it? Like, why? I've never had an issue with a single Batman villain. Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, the Joker. They're all memorable characters because it's like they're fucking fun to watch be on screen, either through the animated cartoon or through the fucking comics. It's just like, because they're entertaining fucking villains. Like, shit. Armstrong from Rising is a good example. I haven't actually played all the way through Rising. I really need to. I've been meaning to. It's unfortunately it's a game that, much like everything else, it's on the fucking back burner, and I haven't bothered to sit down and play it. I'm really gonna try to fix that next year. Like, I know some about Armstrong as a villain, but I don't really know the full details because I didn't want to spoil myself. So I really do hope that I do eventually get around to watching that. It'd be super nice. But yeah, man. Oh God, Ruby. I tried. And funny thing about that, because there was controversy. I don't know if it's like this now, but there was controversy because when that show originally aired, they there was controversy surrounding it because there were people that assumed Rooster Teeth had just stolen MMD assets, Nikubuku Dance assets. And that was the first thing I said to my ex when she showed me an episode of Ruby. I said, "What stupid MMD bullshit is this?" That was the first thing I said, and I laughed when I found out that they originally used Miku Miku Dance assets to make the show. I don't know if it's like that now. I don't know if they switched to like Unity or they've reworked the models to where they're not based off of like Miku models and shit like that. I don't know. But I laughed when I fucking found that out because I was like, "Oh my god, that was the first fucking thing I said." I was like, "Oh, this shit looks like fucking Miku Miku Dance." And sure enough. Yeah, and a lot of people will say that, like, um, the animation is really hard to like go back to. Like, it's hard to go back and watch like the first couple seasons. It's gotten a lot better, I will say that. Like the changes to the lighting and just the way that some of the character models were and everything like that. You know, it's definitely gotten a lot better. So I can at least say that they have made improvements in the animation department. Oh, Crow's fucking awesome. Um, I was personally partial to Weiss. Um, I resonated with Weiss as a character. It's kind of interesting that she developed so quickly, which was really weird. Um, but I think that's kind of why I liked her better, that she didn't stay a fucking priss for very long. She kind of changed pretty quickly, really. Um, I don't mind some of the other teams, like, especially some of the teams that haven't even been on screen in fucking ages. Like, I loved Coco. Coco, oh fuck. Her weapon is like amazing. It's a fucking purse that turns into a goddamn Gatling gun. And I was like, oh, yes. Because I have a really weird fixation with Gatling guns. I don't know why I like them so much. I just love Gatling guns. I really do. I just think that they're freaking just interesting because they're like, I think they're so absurd is the reason why, because it's like you wouldn't ever really like need that sort of firepower. But I loved some of the more like, yeah, like just the other teams were just, there's so many interesting teams and they just didn't fucking do anything with them. Like, they're on screen for a little bit. There was that tournament or whatever where shit all fucking hit the fan and Penny died because she was robot and got fucking wrecked because Cinder's a cunt. Ding Dong, the Wicked Witch is dead, but she's probably not, because she's probably gonna come back because her fucking it's an anime. Because that's what happens with every fucking villain except freaking goddamn, except Mobile Suit. Mobile Suit's the only anime where, like, the villains get wrecked and they don't come back. They're dead. It's like, at least in my mind, that's the only one. Oh yeah, Cinder is insufferable. I liked... Ozpin is such a weird character because it's like he was supposed to be like the uber badass, like the fucking Dumbledore-esque character, right? And he just gets wrecked by Cinder. Like, this dude is supposed to be the one who gave the freaking maidens their damn powers, and you're telling me that he's just gonna die, like, instantly. Like, you know, that I hate that trope. Why do you make these characters, you paint them to be badasses, and then they just fucking die? The only one I actually felt sympathy for was the fucking fourth Hokage in Naruto. I ain't gonna front. It sucked when he actually died. But he was actually, like, he wasn't built to be like a super fucking old man badass. Kind of. but he was definitely feeble in his old age. Like in the Naruto world, like their powers and stuff were very, even Jiraiya to an extent, like even in his old age, he wasn't able to freaking defeat pain. And so it's just kind of like, it's so weird that like they can make old characters be relatable in the sense that they're old age, that they might have been super uber badasses in their prime, but that because they're so old, it's like, I don't like the Uchihas at all. Um, I became a bit more sympathetic to like the whole plight from Sasuke and like and his brother. I was about to say Madara, but that's not right. Freaking drawing a blank. What the fuck is Sasuke's brother's name? Madara and Obito, probably my least favorite characters in the whole show. I stopped watching. I stopped watching when it got to Shippuden, so like I only know the story up until the fight with Pain, mainly because of the video game. As horrible as that is to say, my knowledge of Naruto comes from the fucking video game Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations. I still have it, by the way. I actually still have my copy of that because it's fucking an awesome game. Surprisingly. But really, truly, I stopped caring when Zabuza died. That's when I really gave up, but I kept watching it till the end of first Naruto and then the beginning of Shippuden. Basically, Madara starts off as a believable character at first, then he becomes a stupid god mode stew. Yeah, that I think has constantly been an issue with me, with a lot of these popular animes. Like, that's the one reason, like, I think I like One Piece so much, is that Luffy, he can be overpowered, but he still gets his ass kicked. Like, and it basically, like, all of Luffy's abilities have been through straight up just perseverance and hard work. Like, he wasn't just gifted stupid magic super abilities because fuck it, plot. We need our hero to be believable. That's where I started growing real disdain for Bleach. I hated that they turned Ichigo into that. Like, I was like, Ichigo didn't need to be this mix of, oh, his freaking father's a Soul Reaper, his mother's a Quincy, so he's got a mix of both powers, and then he's got Visored, and then he's got Hollow powers, and it's just like, I fucking hate that. Like, I'm just like, dude, like, no, you could have been totally fine without all of that, and I would root for you more. That's my problem with like Naruto, Goku, and Ichigo is that all of their powers, well, yes, like in a sense, like they do work for them, quote unquote, but technically speaking, they were handed it because they were born better than their allies, basically. That they were freaking, specifically designed to be superior in every shape or form. Goku is powerful because he's a Saiyan, and every single one of his new abilities is more bullshit than the next. So it's like, and then I like how he just makes up abilities. Like, he'll hear about it once or something and then be like, oh, I can do that too. Yeah, so like with Ichigo becomes a freaking clusterfuck. Naruto's the same. Naruto, oh, his dad was freaking super awesome. He had a special jutsu that made him move faster than light or whatever. Like he was the only ninja who did it, so he's super powerful. And crazy strong, and then his mom was too, and then he gets the fucking nine tails sealed in him, so that makes him even uber stronger. And then when he starts tapping into the nine tails abilities, it's like it makes him even stronger. And the dry like and again, some of his abilities of course were taught to him. Like he didn't know the Rasengan and the stuff Jiraiya taught him and everything like that, but then he gets stage mode and like all this other nonsense. And it's just like, the thing about it is too, and one thing that it was, this is actually a concept that I've explored with a character I've written about, is that no one views there's only one instance in Bleach where Ichigo turns into a form, and it's during the fight with not Grimjow. It's not the Grimjow fight. It's the fight after that. The dude with the freaking green eyes, hollow. Espada. I forget that dude's name. Um, Ichigo's losing the fight, obviously, and he becomes like basically full hollow. And I believe it's the only instance he ever does this form. And like Urahime, Orihime, is frightened by this form and by this power. And that's the only instance in any of these shows where people are genuinely like, holy shit, they're fucking scary because they're so damn powerful. People look at Goku being powerful. It's just like, oh, Goku's just getting stronger. Like, let's cheer on Goku because he's fucking God. And then it's kind of the same thing with Naruto. Like, Naruto is not, I mean, in some instances when Naruto doesn't have control of the Nine Tails and the form kicks in, there's a couple instances where that I guess could kind of be, but it's not ever to the point where like, holy shit, you're a fucking freak. Like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're a fucking monster. And so that's kind of the thing. Like, it's so unbelievable because it's like, shouldn't, like, me as a normal pleb, right? I see this unfold. This person who I'm friends with or whatever become stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where they could literally sunder the planet in half. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Good thing you're on our side. Never with the thought that, what the hell happens when I piss this dude off to the point where he's no longer on our side? So there's, I think with me, I would like to see that be more explored. That these people with these powers, especially in anime, like it just becomes so tropey that like everybody's just cool with it. No, it's like, it should be like, I want to see genuine fear at some point where these people are so scared of stepping the line from these people because they're so goddamn powerful that they could punch a building and it erupts. It's like, I want to see fear, like, because that's what it should be, because powers like that should be feared, not just, oh, it's okay because he's a good guy. you know I've, and that's kind of the thing, like I've explored that a lot with the character I've kind of a namesake of mine, the character where the name Rein comes from. That character I've written about is, it's basically like that, is that it, and more or less later on he's not really, but there's a lot of instances where his powers are viewed as him being a fucking monster. It's just like, and I wish animes would explore that concept, because I think that would make it more realistic. You know, you could have it where the character starts out and they're decently well-rounded or whatever, but they start becoming so strong to the point where the people that they love and cherish and are trying to protect are fearful of them because of instances like, they possibly put them in harm's way because of something that they do with their powers or something like that. Give them a reason to actually consider what they're doing and what they're becoming. It's not just, I hate this whole, oh, got to get stronger because they're stronger enemies than me and I got to fuck them up. That's basically verbatim the bare bones basic way to explain a lot of those plots. Basically, he's the descendant of a demonic clan and he's trying, in a sense, to control his powers. Yeah, see, that could work. And see, I think that's kind of why I dug Devilman Crybaby so much, because it didn't glorify the fact that Akira becomes Amon. Like he becomes a fucking demon, and it's like people are genuinely fucking freaked out by that. You know, and then, granted, it's a little like they don't really explore that aspect super heavy because like Akira like becomes all buff and tall and he runs super fast and runs in a really weird fashion and they don't really explore that side of it. But like when the world becomes privy to demons and all that chaos erupts, it's like that's how fucking shit would happen. I feel in any case, if that shit was actually like genuine, like if that actually happened in the real world, I think that's what would happen. People would start doubting each other. You know, people who have been friends and family for fucking years would be like, you could be a fucking demon in disguise for all I know, or could turn into a demon at any time. You know. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. That's always gotta have the love interest. I don't say that as like a negative or anything like that at all. Don't take me wrong. I Every character I write about has a love interest. Don't worry. That's a thing. I just feel it makes more sense to me, at least with the stuff that I've written. I haven't written in a really long time. A lot of the stuff that like I kind of think about is more just stuff that I let play out in my head because I'm not big into writing much anymore. I used to be really big into it when I was in school. That's all I would ever do, man. I have thousands, like hundreds of notebooks full of story after story after story, and a lot of it is fan fiction, but there was a lot that I really tried to make a strive to write my own original content and try to stay away from writing constant fan fiction. Um, and if it was fan fiction, that I never tried to make it connected to the canonical universe or whatever like that. Like I just tried to like do my own thing and focus on characters just set in the same universe and the same setting and stuff like that. I, I joke about it with Xanthan a lot. Um, one of the things I one of the fan fictions I used to write kind of constantly about was Kingdom Hearts fan fiction. Um, got a lot of that. Got a lot of that. Oh man, yeah. I tried to break away from it. I just I really wanted, especially because for a time I really wanted to make writing a career. I really wanted to be an author. Um, Not the case now, but back then, it sounded like a fucking swell idea. Um, but yeah, I wrote a lot of fan fiction. That started writing my own stuff. Um, the one fan fiction I wrote, though, it was a Bleach fan fiction. It was probably one of the last stories that one of my bros read, and he really enjoyed it. He was like, "Damn, dude, you're," because my brother who he doesn't live in town anymore. Well, most of my bros don't, but my one brother, he used to write too, and we used to like swap like our stories and stuff. So we would read each other's work, and he was reading one of mine, and he was like blown away by how like much I had matured in my writing. Like I originally tried to write comedy because I used to read Hank the Cowdog. That was one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series when I was a kid, and I wanted to write in the style of John R. Erickson. I wanted to write humorous stories instead of like mature stuff. I sucked at comedy though, so I eventually moved into like action adventure, fantasy oriented stuff. Wrote a lot of fan fiction. I know I wrote a lot of Kingdom Hearts fan fiction, Bleach fan fiction. Um, I think those were the two ones. I did start a Naruto one at some point. I didn't really go heavy into that one though. That one kind of faded off. Um, I never wrote a One Piece one because I wasn't into One Piece enough to really write a fan fiction about it. I really stuck with material that I knew. So it was like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Bleach, the one off Naruto thing I did. But yeah, there's another character who has the same power, but he uses it for selfless gains after losing something close to him. Yeah, I'm the same way. Writing takes a long time. Most of the stuff I wrote back then was self-inserts and pre-established stuff. I That's what I always tried to do. I always tried to write about characters that were my own. I never tried to insert myself into a person's universe. I never tried to like write characters that took places of other characters or anything like that. I mainly just wrote about characters that resided in the same universe and had stuff happen to them, and they kind of went off and did their own things and had their own adventures and stuff like that. But a lot of my stories evolved. Like I really got more out of like my writing when I started writing my own stuff and really focusing on making my own worlds and establishing my own lore. That was when I really started to fancy writing more sci-fi stuff. There's a video game. It's not a good video game. Very. I think it's good. The first one, at least. I think the first one's good. Second one was better gameplay wise, but storyline wise was. Um, it's a game, and I actually hope to stream it. I don't know when. I probably will stream it maybe sometime after. Maybe I might stream it during the Extra Life charity marathon. Maybe. It's a game called Rengoku: The Tower of Purgatory. It's a game on the PSP. Um, and I really, really, really fucking resonated with that game. Like the concepts of it, the storyline, and everything like that. And so I kind of took the theme of that. Like the overarching theme is that you're in this tower that you have to fight through, basically. So I kind of took that theme and sort of started making this whole like omnipresent thing. I've kind of veered away from it, but it's kind of this overarching thing that's connected to every single one of my characters. And it was actually kind of funny because the way I was rewriting all the stories, so I had characters that stuck with me since the beginning. The very first character I ever wrote about was a character named Rage McLeod. That's not his name anymore. I believe his name is now Nathan McLeod. Um, but he had stuck with me. He was the very first character I ever wrote about. Very first original character, had nothing to do with any sort of established IP or anything like that. It was all original stuff. And so it was that character, and then I had another character. So basically, I had like these three characters that I sort of self-dubbed the big three were these characters. And then when Rein became a character, I essentially wanted to put his story at like the furthest point in the timeline of this established universe. So the whole concept for the other three was is that they were going to meet up to the point where his story begins. And so and a lot of Rain's stuff is fan fiction in a way because I was really inspired by Soul Sacrifice, and I kind of was setting his story basically in the same universe but kind of a parallel universe. But I just haven't really wrote a lot. Like all this stuff is kind of like up in my noggin, and I really just want to sit down and just flesh it all out and write it and just save it and be like, if my kid wants to publish the works or something, or if my younger brother finally gets his career taken off and he starts getting published works, that maybe we can talk about it. Maybe I can like, get some of my stories published under his brand or something like that. I don't know. That's why I hate a lot of Sonic fanfics. You should see. I don't know if I have the files for them anymore, but I had Sonic OCs. I did. I'm not big into Sonic at all, like anymore, and I just laugh at it now because of fucking course who doesn't have a Sonic OC. But I never really, aside from drawing them, I never really fleshed them out. Like I never did anything with them. Like I just drew them and was like, yeah, these are my OCs, and then did fuck all with them. Like I was so much more focused on characters that I made that didn't have any sort of established lore or anything like that with them. They were just characters I would draw. I drew a lot of anthropomorphic characters, like I have foxes and wolf characters and stuff like that, like hybrid characters, like half human, half, like I tons of different stuff. Like there's tons of stuff that like I've even thought about writing. Like I had this whole like crazy idea for a set of games or set of games. Well, I kind of wanted to make these stories games eventually at one point. I had this whole like overarching thing where it was like all these different planets are like set in different time periods, and each of them have like basically a Reaper type character who reaps souls in place of the Grim Reaper, and like that all these worlds are interconnected, and it was eventually like each individual story was going to lead all the characters coming together, and then that was going to start its all like its own set of stories. Like yeah, I had this huge crazy thing. It was really fucking cool, and I was super committed to writing it all, and I was just like I just stopped. I stopped at the prologue book because I wanted to make a prelude book that was about characters. um it basically kind of set the tone of like how all these people ended up with their different abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, I just stopped because because writing, like you said, writing is long and it's hard. I think it's hard too because it's like you want so desperately to be original, but certain aspects are going to eventually mix with something else. Like unironically, I basically rewrote Dune, like classic sci-fi fucking story and movie. I didn't mean to rewrite this, but there's a song by um, Argent Anthony Lucason's Star One. It's their first album, and Star One is their albums are basically their symphonic metal, but all their songs are based off of an existing sci-fi property. And there's a song on their first album called Sandrider, and that song is about Dune. And I didn't know that originally, but I really, really fucking like the song. So I was like, I want to make a story around this. And so one of my big three characters became part of that story. And I was like, oh, and when I found out it was Dune, I was like, oh shit. Basically, the Sonic fanfic was about another character named Takuya, who pretty much is a Gary Stu self-insert who basically was the strongest out of everyone who lives in a mansion. Four other girls, and he has a relationship with all four. Hey, that ain't a bad thing because Rein in the storyverse of Rein is married to two girls, so not a bad thing by any means. Not a bad thing by any means. There's nothing wrong with guys having harems. It's fine. And to be fair, he's the only character I've ever done that with. He's the only character I've ever written that, and it's kind of crazy how that becomes about, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, I have been rambling. It is 3 hours, like 3.5 hours into the stream. I need to go. I just thought about that. I'm like sitting here rambling and not even playing the game now. But thank you, Andre. It's been fucking a blast. I'm really happy you came by. Thank you so much for chatting it up with me. Jozo, if you're out there, if you're still listening, thank you so much for chatting it up too, coming by for the brief little bit that you did. I really appreciate that. And to anybody else who came by and viewed the stream, these are the kind of streams I want to do more of. I want to do more just chill, relax. I can kind of play the game and then kind of not at the same time too. But hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there where there's more people actively in the chat and stuff like that, and I can just answer questions or just talk bullshit the entire time. But anyways, hopefully not tomorrow. I might try to squeeze a stream tomorrow. No promises though. Hopefully Monday I will be picking back up Astral Chain. I'm gonna fucking try my goddamn damnedest to freaking get through Astral Chain before Link's Awakening comes out. No promises there either, but I might stream longer. I might make longer streams or stream twice or something. I'll figure something out so we can finish Astral Chain, and then I can get to Link's Awakening uninterrupted. And then when Code Vein comes out, I could stream Code Vein. But anyways, guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. And this has been Daybreaker Rein. And I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, everybody.